taking a long break from the scene before coming back and really starting to take some names. But first, we're going to focus on fnatic, the old stars, the team trying to rebuild from the bottom, and they are struggling to get that rebuild off the ground at the moment. Recent events not looking great, playing a lot of the tier 2, the tier 3 tournaments, not really getting anything done up against the 3D Max, who are really starting to make a name for themselves here. Unfortunately, not too long to go live in the pre-show, so we'll have a quick rundown of the veto. fnatic picking up Ancient, Anubis up next for 3D Max, and Inferno a decider if needed. And for those of you with an eagle pair of eyes and a photographic memory of Counter-Strike, you will realise that that veto is incredibly similar to when these two teams faced off against one another at the last season of ESL Pro League, season 19, back in April. The only difference being that we ended up on Overpass there as a result of Dust 2 not being in the map pool at the time, and now fnatic, of course, banning that pretty standardly in the second string. So some big questions to be asked, because again, those of you with a photographic memory who really do know their stuff about CS will remember that was a clean 2-0 for 3D Max back in ESL Pro League season 19. And more recently, we saw these two teams face off again. It was another clean 2-0 for 3D Max. That, the best part of 3 weeks ago. I'll get there in the end. With fnatic trying to mix up the veto a little bit, going for the Vertigo pick first off the rip to try and get something going. So some nervy signs for the fans of fnatic that I'm sure we have loitering around to see if they can pull off the performance and get this done. There is, of course, the lower bracket, the potential salvation of that in this qualifier if required. But for a team of fnatic stature, they will not want to be headed there. They will want to have the individuals firing off. They will want to make a statement against the up-and-coming 3D Max. And they start on the T side of their map pick to try and do so. Almost immediately, a fast-paced play towards the B-bomb site from fnatic. Full mid-charge coming in from 3D Max. And, well, they've taken the scaffold. Body aware of the possibility. Mattis there with the shoulder peek. Maka able to trade an early 1-for-1. Mattis desperately trying to wrestle some control back. Does find himself the double. Gravity immediately there with the trade, however. And most of this T-side utils falling a little flat. blamef doing what he does best, ripping the head off of Lucky. And this flank from Jocko, the timing's just not quite going to be there. The B-bomb site wide open for the taking. Everyone is here, but Jocko does make that flank work for one. I thought he'd not quite landed it, but Afro's head is left on the pavement as Crims and blamef, two vets of this scene, left to try and stitch this one together. Gravity playing his angles well initially, now swings a little too wide, and it's blamef with a big double kill, a big triple in the pistol total to get fnatic off to the right sort of start. 3D Max, I mean, it's a nice idea. It's a novel idea. It's something a little bit different for a CT pistol, and it very nearly pans out for them as well. Mattis does very well to get himself a quick double kill. Keeps them busy towards the scaffold, towards heaven. Stops them from really being able to advance too far up and start to really throw a spanner in the works of that B execute. And a couple of well-placed nades to make sure it continues to be fnatic in the ascendancy. 3D Max not happy with that whatsoever. Almost immediately jumping back onto a force buy. Handful of MP9s supporting a Deagle and a 5-7 for exercise. Of course, a much stronger buy for the T side, however. 3 Galils, an AK in tow, but it's the MP9s that strike first. Jocko able to deal with Mattis. There's a lot of low HP bars lurking around. The Molotov will deal with one of them. Lucky goes down, unfortunately for him, but it's still that man advantage, and they want to push it even further right into the jaws of Afro. The AK rings out for a triple and buys blamef a big 1v1. Bomb is down outside of the B doors. And blamef has only got himself a Mac 10 to work with. Gravity, the scavenger perk enabled, and manages to get his hands on an AK-47. He's got no idea where to look next. Clearing his way into CT at the moment as blamef lies in wait. And they will just pass each other by for now. A little bit of a reset in this round with 50 seconds still on the clock. blamef starting to clear his corners, knowing the bomb is his #1 priority. Gravity, because of blamef's slow start to this one, starting to think that maybe there's a possibility he's going around the world and the A site is actually the end game. Does open up some opportunities for blamef. Makes the sound cue with the smoke going down. Too far away. Gravity won't hear it. Potentially opens up an avenue for Blame to recover a rifle as well, which would be critical in this clutch. Gravity now just playing the timings, knows there's an almost certain chance that this is going to be the B bomb site finish. The smoke going down will absolutely confirm that. He's got armor behind that AK as well as he starts to lurk up short. 1v1, he beats out Blamer. It was Blaine with a triple in the pistol. This time it's Gravity with a triple, and he wants to let him know. He really wants to let him know. This feels like a bit of a grudge match now. Defuse will come in. 3D Max able to respond immediately with the force buy of their own. Some big questions to be asked for Fnatic. I mean, they get the bomb down, but with such a heavy rifle-based investment into the second round, it's still not a good look financially. We'll see the force buy coming in. Of course, they can't afford to let that one full buy with just a 1900 loss bonus as well. Even if they did look to full eco this one, the buy's not going to be great into the next round. We'll be making some sacrifices, so we're going to roll the dice. 3 Deagles. Afro, top fragging for the T side at the moment, gets his hands on a Galil. Of course, he knows some of these 3D Max boys incredibly well. Various iterations of the French rosters played together. Pop flash to try and take the fight is Exercise, and it's the dink, but not the convert. Mattis, instant response. AK recovered as well. Fantastic little find. They have lost control of the B ramp in the meanwhile. Maka and Jocko looking to be proactive with their rifles. Motov to flush this Deagle into the open. Nothing Body can do. Succumbs to the pressure of the situation, and that man advantage is restored for 3D Max, albeit with Exercise dinked down to 8 HP. Currently just trying to hold on to that A-bomb site. The fact we've got 11 players in the server, getting a little confusing, but I'll get there in the end. Mid control is going to be sought after for Fnatic, if nothing else, just to give them the opportunity to try this split towards B. Jocko and Maka lie in wait. A lot of firepower concentrated towards what is normally the more popular bomb site for the CT side. But a decent amount of utility to pop this execute for Fnatic as well. Blame F going to be given uninterrupted control. And with Maka lacking in head armor, this one is not a done deal yet. Jocko needs a swift kill here. Gets it. Mattis, lovely on the trade. And now Blame F. It's all on his timing for the activation. Does lose his teammate, but gets the kill. A 1v2 with 18 seconds on the clock. Knows again that he's got to get that bomb down desperately. Knows that Exercise is low HP from that initial engagement, so potentially opens up an avenue. A second tap, a second fake of that bomb to draw him into the open, and he's got one. 4 seconds onto the pistol, but Lucky will get on top of it. Another nail-biter of a round in these opening moments. Neither team able to establish solid control of the situation, and, well, neither a team able to establish solid control of their finances either as a result. Fnatic, I think, finally forced to wave the white flag of surrender to the force buys. We'll be dropping down to the Tech 9 on Blame F. Everyone else, bar Afro, sticking around to the Glocks. One flashbang. Expect to see something a little bit swifter here. CT side expecting the exact same as me. So the fast-paced mollies come in, try and isolate a bit of that control. A nice HE, chipping onto Mattis. And now that M4 swings very wide indeed, but it's well controlled, the spray from Gravity. Very easy to get overwhelmed in those situations. A lot of bodies in your crosshairs, but he's able to control things nicely. And, well, he's going to continue getting damaged through the walls, in fact. He's Exercise getting a little too keen, perhaps. Goes down for his troubles, but the rifles are there to mop things up, and it is only the MP9 that goes down. So, again, not the end of the world. Nothing to be massively concerned about. This is where I think we'll start to see what Fnatic have really got planned for their map pick. First opportunity they're going to have on the full buy. AKs expect to be across the board, and a very early tactical timeout from Fnatic as well. Do like to see it. Recognizing that the situation, I mean, it's very early doors, but MR12, they are a third of the way through this first half already. Their map pick, and, well, the opening rounds, it's safe to say, haven't gone how they would have hoped. Winning the pistol. Not able to wrestle control of the situation from there on out. So take the pause. Give Keita a bit of time. Try and work some magic into this one. What is the idea for the first full buy? Expect to see some more proactivity from this CT side. It's been working out well for them. A lot of utility to enable it as well. They'll be aware that that's definitely an area they should have the advantage on in this round. fnatic, having lost a couple, forced out a few, never going to have quite as much util financially. Nice mollies come in from the CT side again. Just trying to make that B lane a little bit of an inhospitable place. Force out some T-side util, force them to reset their control as well with a nice place to smoke towards the B doors. You can see Exercise on the map taking a lot of control. And Lucky doing the same simultaneously down mid. So a two-pronged attack from 3D Max. We'll have to start respecting the situation now, though. They've burnt a lot of util to get that opening control, and, well, they're yet to find a pick with it, so forced to almost reset their expectations in that moment. Start to rethink the ideas. Lucky is hanging around, though. Wants that fight in towards mid. Jocko and Maka, well, it's a miss boost, and it's an awkward boost in this version of the game, so they'll have to fall off it. Afro will have been picking up all of that information through his headphones, communicating that there's definitely at least two over towards B. With that kind of a boost in play, you're probably expecting a third in the cave as well, though Exercise as well very quickly. Gravity has vacated that situation. And it is going to be the B hit again. fnatic starting to group this one up, and this time there's not a pick for 3D Max. With 30 seconds left on the clock, the last of fnatic's util is going to come out. There's no smokes. Bar the one on Afro, and he's looking to go in early, so he's got to get this out now. Got to try and start to block off some of these sight lines. Jocko wants to fight, and Afro gets one better. Opening kill found. That's the B site open for business. They're trying to boost over the top of the smoke, and Exercise and Gravity do very well. Kill a piece before through the smoke goes Crims, looking to cause some chaos. Quickly traded down, and he's bought a 2v2. Exercise's position known. Lucky the same. He's going to try and creep on out here. It's a nice crossfire, though, between these two players. Afro tucked in close. The shadow gives him away. It's all onto the last man, and the communication just not quite there. Not quite aware of where Body could have been in that situation. He stays tucked to the in-game leader, buys himself as much time as possible to convert. He gets the job done. Never expected fnatic to go quietly on this map, let's put it that way. Slightly sketchy start. They use their timeout. They start to reset, settle down into it. We see 3D Max doing the exact same. It's a big call this round. 1900 loss bonus. Gravity wants the force here. 5-7, smoke, flashbang. Wants to try and go for that early reset on the fnatic economy once again. Like we saw in the second round, the pistol conversion that went so wrong. And well, Gravity seemingly has convinced the rest of the squad to go with him. Coach will have had an opportunity, I think, just to try and maybe explain something he's seen. fnatic tending to lean towards that B bomb site so far on their executes. Maybe that's something we'll look to exploit in the mid-late round. Maybe instead we'll look for some proactivity elsewhere on the map, knowing that fnatic are going to be a little less well-equipped over there. It is the fast-paced play down that mid-control again, trying to get the rifles activated early. Lucky, Maka, and Exercise all in the same spot. Gravity desperate to get some impact out of that 5-7, but he's just sold himself to the grave. Afro, a fortuitous shot, but it's one that should win the round for them. Onto Jocko. Inside of that B-bomb site, and indeed, as you can start to see now, fnatic will rotate this one round. Maka is here, but with only a FAMAS to play with, and, well, with Mattis getting the better of Lucky, this feels like a done deal. Afro, a little lackadaisical on the clear out, and all Maka an ugly, ugly fight. I mean, it's going to funnel them right back to B, and Mattis has dealt with Exercise in mid in the meanwhile. So even though he goes down through the smoke, Maka's death is pretty much irrelevant to the round standing. And we level things out at 3 apiece. The force buy fails for 3D Max. And fnatic, perhaps for the first time in this map, start to feel a little settled. Start to feel like they're starting just to get a little bit of control of the situation. Back 10 in the hands of BlameF, looking to farm up some cash as he does so well. Rifles across the board for the remainder of the T side as 3D Max Going for a bit of a gamble. Thought we might have seen it last round based on the fact fnatic do tend to lurk and end towards that B bomb site. This time, we're going to see it now. Nice HE, going to do a lot of heavy lifting here. Mattis should have heard that as well, so plenty of angles to clear. A few too many crosshairs in his way, however. Body is there, and with a brutal quad spray down, is able to just settle things down before they get too sketchy. Nice confidence builder for him as well. Had a bit of a slow start in the opening 6 round. Had all of a couple of kills. So a quad spray. Get used to that M4 before you see it on the CT side. And fnatic take the lead. Just about. Immediate response expected from 3D Max here. Last time these two teams faced off on Ancient, it was 13-10 the end scoreline. 3D Max did have 7 CT rounds to their name. They'll be looking for a similar sort of haul here, although Afro's got the better of gravity, and Blamek with a lovely little pop flash out mid has got his man Mattis continuing, just causing chaos. A crunch into mid and a decimation of the defense of 3D Max. Nothing more to be said. I mean, Jocko and Maka, how do you even begin to pick up the pieces here? Mattis is on one. Gets the better of Maka, and, well, Jocko like to salvage that AWP, I'm sure. Give his team something to work with. Give himself something to work with, in fact, but Afro's having absolutely none of it. Quickly cleaned up, a 5th round on the board. Why will that give himself something to work with? Of course, Maka's the AWPer on 3D Max, but Jocko would have wanted it anyway. Don't know why, I've always confused Afro and Jocko. I think it's just because they end in the same syllable. In my head, they've always just been one and the same, and now having them play on 2 different teams, it gets mighty confusing. Pistols are out, though. 3D Max mighty confused as to where this CT side's going. Slipping away from them at the moment. Handful of smokes to try and stall out the inevitable hit from fnatic. Almost exclusively buying up 5.7s on the CT side. I mean, they're a bit of a meta weapon. You can see the logic. A 1 deagle in the hands of Jocko, actually lurking out towards long as he looks to drop a top ramp smoke. And that's a lovely little boost there. Maka combining well with Lucky. Gets the opening pick in towards mid. Unfortunately, the rifle not really salvageable. Just a hint too far into that mid control, a hint too risky for this CT side, but you can see the opening that this gives them here. Crims lurking down the ramp, Body trying to make a nuisance of himself, trying to draw the rotation away, and it's starting to work. Maka has made his way in towards mid. Exercise alongside him, but, well, having seen nothing else, they'll start to just cheat this rotation back over towards the B-bomb site, and that is the right call. We're in for a brawl on B, all 4 pistols. Or are we? No, not the CT smoke. They've fallen for it. Gravity desperately trying to make his way back. I mean, there's 20 seconds on the clock here. If they can get a couple of kills, if they can deny the bomb, that transfer into the site, it gets so damn dangerous. But Body, he defused the situation brilliantly. 3D Max, I think, just getting a little too keen to jump the gun there. The utility comes out, the deep CT smoke, and they want to fight mid. Desperate to just overwhelm somebody somewhere on this map, but it leaves them vulnerable. The B-bomb site wide open. And with just a solitary pistol there, it's relatively easy for fnatic with all those rifles just to walk on through. Exercise has managed to now salvage that AK, which was dropped in towards mid when Blamek went down early. So that will get hidden away in towards the donut. For a couple of these pistols, it's time to see if maybe we can farm something up. Jocko gets 1, but realistically not quite enough. Lucky won't commit anything to it. He'll look to hold on and bodyguard that AK-47 in the hands of Exercise to give them something to buy around into the next. Big buy this. 3D Max realise it. Second of their 3 tactical timeouts used inside of the opening 9 rounds. As we said, they played on this map before. 7 CT rounds was 3D Max's haul on that occasion. This is looking like a rejuvenated, revived fnatic roster. A very different start. Certainly a roster that's had its ups and downs. We've seen a lot of chopping, a lot of changing. Most recently, of course, Kyubi on the way out. flameF on the way in. Largely regarded as a positive move, and it seems to be working here as Afro again wants to get this AWP singing. He's got Gravity trapped in a corner, and he's got Gravity trapped in an early grave. Wants a bit more, but Maka is there, and Maka takes a second bite at it. Lucky to be alive. Mattis doesn't normally miss a lot of those, but he stays around in the Molotov. Maka gets a bit more, and now he's got to hold on to B, but he's been 4x3'd. He's not seen the man get straight past him here, and this is a game of timings. Maka gets the better of it, finally put down. 4x3 versus 4x3, and Maka just about gets away with it. 2v2 for his team, but Crims with a lightning-fast headshot has bought the advantage. Exercise a complete unknown at this point. No information for either of these players to work with. The bomb is deep outside of B, but the timing is good for fnatic. A 7th on the board, perhaps fortuitous. Maka gets 4x3. The fnatic man also gets 4x3, but as much as Maka comes out on top, he's still an isolated presence inside of that B bomb site. His teammates can't stay alive long enough to help out, and at 7-3 down already, feels like 3D Max starting to hit that panic button a little bit. They're not going to fully invest into this round with a 3,400 loss bonus. They will be buying into the last round of the first half. But Maka's on his AWP. Big impact in the last round, otherwise a fairly quiet first half. Around him, a litany of MP9s. Setting themselves in the crossfires. Again, a relatively sparsely occupied B site. Maka opting to try and take that AWP over towards A. Of course, fnatic will know it was on the B bomb site last time, playing in towards the cave. That's why they'll be using some of this utility, being a little more diligent in their clearance than they otherwise perhaps would be. Hot flash to clear their corners in. 3D Max would have been hoping that by cycling the AWP around, they'd get some presence seen, some information gathered, perhaps a pick on the A bomb site, not to be. And well, Maka's got to have his wits about him here, because once again, flameF has caught a little bit of a timing, working his way in towards Red Room, and if he gets this pick, well, it should be job done. And indeed, it is the pick. It's Body with a second. As they try and flank through Scaffold. Exercise does manage to activate for one, but a dink from Gravity won't be enough on that MP9. As Jocko and Exercise left to try and just pick up any pieces they possibly can. Exercise is all the way over on A. So there's damage on the board. I mean, Mattis surviving on a single point of health feels very cruel. Body's down on 65. Afro on 42. flameF still full complement. Problem is, Exercise has only got an MP9. He knows that next round is going to be a bit of a scrappy buy on 3,400 loss bonus. So perhaps he just wants to try and get himself a rifle. Just try and get out of here in one piece. It's going to be the double peak. flameF does go down. That's the high HP player. Mattis should be an easy enough find. And indeed, Exercise. He's got that AWP. Now, can he survive with it? Body's hunting hard. Working his way out of Donut. Afro a little less keen. Perhaps aware that he wants to keep his hands on his AWP. Body will be heard entering Temple, but he's not going to get the pick, so the AWP will be recovered. An opportunity at the end of this first half. A shot at redemption. Perhaps for 3D Max, they need this. 8-4 feels winnable. Pistol, convert, start to scrap your way back on the T side. A 9-3. You're 1 foot in the grave before you even get to try your T side. Before you even really get to see what 3D Max are made of, and it's going to be a fast-paced play from fnatic. They're trying to really turn the screws here. Util onto the A-bomb site. It's a clean enough take. Mattis makes it a bit cleaner through the CT smoke. Exercise goes down, and this one goes from bad to worse for 3D Max. Right when they would have wanted an opportunity. 4v5 locked out of that A-bomb site. Such a painful one to retake. Gravity gets the better of Blame F though, and Jocko and Lucky combine beautifully. And suddenly this one is on. Body and Mattis to try and rescue a nice round here for fnatic. Big spray down from Body. It's the double. But mollied in is Mattis. He's trapped in by Gravity, and 3D Max pull off a miraculous 4v5 as they steal a 4th round at the break. Tough first half. 3D Max scrambling to save something. A 4th round right at the death. A 4v5 retake onto the A-bomb site. But will that inspire enough confidence? Will that give them the momentum that they so desperately need for their T side? Pistol round would go a long way to leveling things out here. fnatic. None of the shenanigans that we saw from the CT start of 3D Max. No fast-paced aggression. A slow setup. 2 towards Donut. 2 in the red room. B-site retake. And, well, the util comes over the top. It's going to have to be a retake. No kit in play either as they look to make the cross through the smoke. Body can see bits of bodies, but never quite ahead. Can't quite find the connection. Mattis, though, has been a monster through these smokes in the first half and continues to do so as Jocko will punch in the numbers. Retake 4v5. D-side well placed to hold this one off. Body with just a single flashbang to get them in. They will smoke off the cave. That locks Jocko out the fight. Forces Maka to reconsider his plans. And it's going to make this a little bit one-dimensional, actually, on the hold from this T side. No kit in play, though. Remember that as that clock starts to tick away. They've got to take these fights. And Jocko, flying out of the cave smoke, does just that. A quick triple that surely means the round is good and done. Crim's doing what he can, but again, there's no kit in play here. Gravity just has to stay alive, and he knows it. A single shot will finish him off. Crim's at this point just wants the kill to be done with it. 3D Max, it takes everybody out there. It takes everything they've got, but they do get their T-side pistol. They do get their 5th round. And they bought themselves perhaps half a chance of making something of this first map. Big questions to be asked of fnatic now. Previously, 3D Max went for the force buy, managed to make it stick. Slightly more reserved call from fnatic boys. We'll go for the full eco. Crims cooks the HE. Hoping to just catch a timing here, I think. Crunching towards middle. It's a nice dink from Afro to start things off. The HE will come in and finish the job. That's a nice little techie play. And it does net them an opener. Will they be able to recover that rifle is the question, though. Exercise, a quick double. The HE combines with the Galil. The Mac 10 in play for Gravity as well. It should be about mopping up these pieces now. Afro does well. Perhaps a second. That HE will go in and finish the job if the rifles won't, though. 3D Max get their 6th on the board. They lose a couple of players, one of whom had a rifle. So it's a little bit of expenditure they would have rather not gone through. It's a relatively solid financial situation to be in. 3 AKs, 2 Galils, full util. As we see the buy come out from fnatic and there are sacrifices made immediately. Afro glass cannons it. Fully committed. Every penny he's got is put into that big green gun that he'll take over towards the A-bomb site. BlameF and Crims to try and hold down mid, and onslaught of utility to start things off. 3D Max want this control, but they're not going to be giving it. Crims blinded, smoked. He does not care. An old hand at those kind of angles these days, even on a newer map like Ancient. Spam gifts an opening. Second smoke goes towards the red room. Goes a little too deep, perhaps. Crims is toying with it. Knows his team have got a solid setup here, however, and they look to fade through it. They almost line up, but Mattis bails Crims out of trouble. Huge double kill from the Rifler. Again, having a fantastic series. Huge amounts of impact. And as Body deals with Gravity, it leaves Jocko in what should be an impossible situation. Orp of Afro trained on mid through Donut. BlameF there to back him up. Should the shot not connect in the way they want it to, but it's going to regardless. The investment pays off. The round comes through for fnatic. The rifle's in their hands. They look a renewed force. Mattis continuing on what has been a fantastic run of form for the individual. Second highest rated player in fnatic. Behind the one and only BlameF. Force buy out from 3D Max, though. They're not going to let this one go easily. Eagle, P250, Mac 10. It's aggression called from fnatic. It's a couple of ugly flashbangs, a huge amount of damage exchanged. Lucky will be finished off. Wasn't sure the HE would make it far enough, but it just about does. BlameF, an inopportune reload there. Couldn't quite see the headshot angle. Gets another before he goes down, but Crims can't. The double rifle setup in towards mid is disassembled. And it buys a 3-on-3. Gravity and Exercise, both the AKs, looking to work Cave. They are going to have one hell of a fight here, and it's all on the timings. The boost up is ugly, and Exercise able to take full advantage. Afro left in a 1v2. He was able to buy armor behind the AWP this time, but does he want to commit to it? Maka and Exercise well set in their crossfires. And I don't think he wants it. The AWP will back away from the situation, and every time this one happens, every time 3D Max can force fnatic to rethink, it will give them a little bit more confidence, a little bit more faith. But this one is doable. I mean, they're the team that are ranked higher. As mad as that feels to say, looking at an organization like fnatic, 3D Max 21st in the world, fnatic 23rd. Some big questions to be answered for this age-old org. These are the kind of rounds where sometimes you can answer them. Big decision to be made. Afro does have the AWP. 2,400 loss bonus behind it. You look across the financials, the buy in the next round would be fantastic. 2,400 loss bonus. Body would have rifle and armor. Crim's the same. Blame. Well, it's a heavy-handed investment. Might leave him lacking. But he wants to go for it. He wants to give Afro some support. Some extra firepower to work around. Handful of pistols. Deagle. 2 P250s. What can they achieve? What can they accomplish? Limited buy. Where do the high power pieces go? Afro wants to go down mid. Reroutes into the donut. His own smoke blocks him, but it's a fast-paced A play, and Blame F is here. A quick 1-for-1, not enough. Now it's Afro's turn. 3D Max doing their due diligence, though. Smoke him off the angle. Pop flash to try and get the Deagle out. Try and get Crims into position. Spammed out. Isolated now, and they know exactly where to look for him. Gravity gets the better of it. Mattis on the B250 continues to find impact through the smoke. Very close to getting the kill on Gravity. But the A-bomb site is lost. Bomb yet to go down. Plant will start to come through. fnatic, what can you do here? Can you get yourselves into this one? Angle is there. Afro gets the better of Jocko. Just didn't seem aware that his shoulder would be vulnerable. Gravity low HP. A lovely shot from Mattis, and this one's on 2v2. Afro's got a kit as well here. Exercise has to play the elevated position well. He's got support in towards main. They can bait and switch this. There's one for Afro. Wants the second, but he can't quite find the connection. Maka gives him the shot. But the AWP won't quite land that critical bullet. One round the difference now. An 8-4 half was what we had. We're up to 9-8. fnatic CT side on their map pick. Looking frail in its age. Four M4s and a FAMAS, all they can muster into this one. It's an ugly fight in towards mid. Spray's going both ways. Mattis again wants to be the man to have impact on the fnatic side of things. So many times we've seen him get that aggression, get that opening. This time he's put down before he can find a second. Afro and Exercise exchanging kills through smokes. Leaves us in a 3v3. Maka tagged up, meaning the health ever so slightly favours the CT side, but not by enough for it to really be relevant. Body and Crims will have to try and stitch this retake together, and all that spray from Body needed to connect, had to be cleaner than that. Crims will be smoked out of his angle on short. Blame is all the way on the A-bomb site. Nowhere near, nothing he can do to stop this. Crims is going to try and be cheeky, and oh my goodness, hell of a timing to catch. Exercise alive and ready to the threat right when it became dangerous, puts him down. For Blame F, well, it's another round that's gone. We're up to 9-all, 3D Max. They are on it. Looking hot to trot. And they've got their map pick coming up next, Anubis, to fire off. At 9-all, they'll feel like this one is very firmly in their grasp. An opportunity to make it the 3P against fnatic of all orgs. Start off their IEM Rio close qualifier the right way, the winning way. Blame F will hold on to an AK. 3D Max won't mind that one bit. Look at the finances. fnatic with some huge decisions to make here. Yeah, and that's how huge the decision is. Third timeout. Recognizing that this is make or break now. They really don't have any more time to make this one work. This round, they'll let pass them by. Not because they want to, but because they have to. They don't have much of another choice. They'll go for some upgraded pistols. Try not to spend too much money. Blame F, of course. On that saved AK-47. Handful of 5.7s, P250s. Not the buy they would have wanted, the buy they've been dealt. Boost over the top of the smoke for Lucky, not spotting anything out. The initial nades down mid from fnatic, not finding any purchase. All on as even as we exit the initial phase. 3D Max happy to wait out the util, knowing that fnatic can't have afforded a lot of it. Now start to take that control relatively unopposed. fnatic making the brave call. Maximum firepower concentration over towards this B-bomb site. They're going to try and make it work with aggression. I like the idea. Past the crosshair of Jocko, at least initially. Now he starts to realize what's up. He needs support lines round, and Gravity is there to do so. Jocko and Gravity combining well. It's Blame F on that lone AK. He gets the one, but that is it. And that's not the kind of return fnatic would have been hoping for. Needed a little bit more out of that round. 3D Max, they take their lead. A well-deserved lead, you have to say. A hard-fought lead at 10-9 up. Can this buy be the salvation of fnatic? Or will it be another series missed, another opportunity falling by the wayside once more for this roster, this org, as old as the game itself? Mattis again wants the fight in towards Cave. He's had so much opportunity with that, so many times he's thread the needle, caught the impact. Him and Body this time will get a fully unoccupied B lane. They can't clear the cubby, but they'll clear everything else, and Afro will set up station. A 3-man hold of this lane, and how long is that viable for? You can see on the minimap exercise. Lucky. They've started to work their way towards A. They've not really hit the A-bomb site on their T side. They think maybe now's the time to pull that trigger and see just what Crims has got to offer in terms of resistance. There is a rotation making its way round now. Blame F will be there in support. Mattis potentially can cut them off at the pass, and a well-timed molly towards Zed would do that. The smoke buys him at least a little bit of time. Afro still locking horns with Gravity, as it is going to be this A split. Mid-control to be taken. Mattis, what have you got for us? Nothing. Jocko swift in his punishment, and fnatic think they've got the read here. They think they know what's happening. Abandoning the B-bomb site. Is that the right call? Body gets one, but Gravity has lurked his way to B, and he's got the free kill. Draws Afro back. They know where both of these remaining players are now. It's just a question, can they get the kills in time? Crims takes the fight, gets the better of one. He'll go down to the spray, inevitably, of exercise, and it buys a 1v2. Afro to be the hero once again. If he could have denied the bomb, that would have been everything. He'll get another opportunity at this, working his way in towards CT. Gravity punching in the numbers. Exercise takes the fight and wins it. A summary of 3D Max's success and fnatic's failures. It's back and forth, but the critical shots are going the way of the T side right now. It is all looking up for the Frenchman. fnatic, last chance saloon. I mean, they're not even going to full invest into this one. They're looking for the overtime now. It's MP9s, P250s, pistols, bits and pieces. 2 MP9s lie in wait at donut. 3D Max wanted to go quickly. They do just stall out for the util though, and that buys half a gap for that MP9 of Blame F to have some impact, but it is 1 kill. Jocko and Lucky quickly turn the tables. There is a low HP bar on Lucky. That makes it tempting, but as the bomb goes down, this one feels like a done deal. Mattis continuing to try and be the hero, and he's got 2. He's bought them an in. A huge opportunity awaits now. Lucky, he's so low, so close to death, and it's on to the last. Maka with the double sprayed out to win it. A huge triple kill. He drops the AWP, takes the AK, gets the job done himself. The AWPing in-game leader, he can do it all. $12-9. 3D Max, 3 map points. FlameF wants the fight. Wants to be the man to leave fnatic to salvation, but again, he's just been read. Lucky with the spam. Mattis once more does get some impact out of that cave, but there's just not the teammates to back him up. And as Exercise deals with Crims, it goes from bad to worse for fnatic. Body and Afro. Make that just Body. 3D Max are having none of this. Body is going to go for the backstab of a lifetime, but he's too slow. An unfortunate summary of fnatic CT side. Too slow, too lackluster. Mattis has done everything he could to get them into this one. 21-19. The youngster's played a blinder, but his teammates haven't stepped up around him. Maka to finish the job. 3D Max take the map pick of fnatic. And I mean, I can't help but get excited about that. I'm a fnatic fanboy through and through, but right now this roster is not working. And for 3D Max, they are looking to make it. I said it earlier, the three-peat, right? They've beaten fnatic. Stick your fingers in your ears and we'll run through them now. We've got Cloud9 up against Heroic going live on the A stream. Cloud9 managed to take the first map, their map pick, 13-7, so they're looking in very solid stead as well. The B stream has got Falcons up against OG. Falcons taking the first map of that one, 13-11. And then down on the D stream, we've got Eternal Fire up against B8. Eternal Fire, they've taken the first map. They're midway through the second, so they are flying through their series today. Of course, of all those teams, the 8 that are here, only 2 can make the qualification. Only 2 will be playing at IEM Rio. We'll be looking to decide who keeps it going in that upper bracket here and now. 3D Max a map to the good, starting CT side of Anubis and trying to be cheeky on their pistol again. Fast up mid. fnatic fast towards B. Crims has spotted it. He knows what's coming. The question is, what's the play here? Do we try and split this here with 3D Max, or do we just try and retake and ignore Crims' existence? It seems like the call's been made. Early kill for Jocko. Exercise deals with Crims on the backstab, and now it's a 5v3. There is no kit in play. It's a full 10 seconds, so they'll tap the bomb. Jocko now looks to stick it. Maka deals with Body, and there's so many body for Mattis. He's doing everything he can, but the kills just aren't quite there for him. Lane manages to get one. Mattis one more, but 3 players alive. Gravity with a double for 3D Max. They take their CT pistol. They start as they mean to go on. Early success. Momentum. I can never say that word. Momentum. There we go. Carried over from Ancient. So many questions to be asked of fnatic. They do get the bomb down, so there is a force, and it's a good one. 5 Galils. Not a lot of util. I don't expect to see anything too tricksy whatsoever here. They are going to brawl it out. Do or die attitude for this lineup right now. Can't bomb out of too many more tournaments before surely death's bell is ringing. It is Exercise alone over towards this A bomb site. Just a FAMAS to play with, and there is a lot of people heading in his direction. Crims dodges the crosshair initially, shows a shoulder. It's a 1-for-1 trade though, and that's good enough. Maka has made the rotation in, has got that M4 in position. Lucky now there to join him on the MP9 and mop up what's left. Body to try and stitch together the impossible 1v4. He's been flanked out all the while. That is a gorgeous headshot for one. There's so many low HP bars after he digs the second, but Lucky won't let it get too much more sketchy than that. A couple of kills. It's well worked from the fnatic in-game leader, but no more. He's put down at the third. 2-0. 3D Max with the rifles. Some decisions to be made again for fnatic. I mean, it's very early doors to be saying this, but their series feels like it's on the line in some of these early rounds. Body has dropped blame a hero AK here. Pistols are out for the rest of the lineup. 3 P250s and a Deagle. Where is Blame going to take it? AK wants to go over towards B. Gravity is currently tucked jail. They don't really have the utility on fnatic to clear him out. He's going to try and work his way in for a pick here and just see if he can get a kill, maybe a trade, maybe Body can pick that rifle up and do some more damage. He's had a great series so far. Unfortunately, 3D Max are going to give them absolutely nout. Jocko and Maka are set up in towards Canals on the double. Gravity, essentially the early warning system here. The smoke gives away his position somewhat, so he opts to go for a bit of a swing. Can't find the connection. Maka does go down. I mean, a P250 at range is a clean headshot. Jocko is there with the trade. Mattis really has been the shining light for fnatic so far in this series. Gravity can take the AWP if he wants here as well. Drop down in towards the E-box. Oh, timing's ugly. Molotov will force blame F into a fight he doesn't want to take, though, and Jocko will get the better of him. That Galil able to swing and back the MP9 up, but there's the dink, and now Gravity, 6 HP, is screaming for the reinforcements. Lucky reads the situation well, gets there in time, and they've seen the bomb on the back of Afro as well, so they'll start to rotate in. Even more support. I mean, Lucky's down to 9. Gravity on 6. Crims has picked up the fallen AK. AWP, rather, and Afro, he's got a clean headshot. This one's on here. Crims is working his way out of the E-box, but his timing just isn't quite right. 3D Max, a third on the board. It's sketchy, but they're getting the job done. Always feels like CT side of Anubis, you just take what you can get. Any rounds you can stick together are good rounds on this map. It's a good buy for fnatic. Afro on the AWP. AK's Galil's around him. 3D Max again. After that initial pistol, which we'll call a little crazy, but it seems to be working for them. Not really tried anything too tricksy with the CT side. We've had Maka peeking B. This time he's peeking mid and has absolutely tanked a HE as a result. Two-man set up towards the A-bomb site this time. The bait and switch between Exercise and Lucky. It's fnatic just prodding and poking. Trying to bleed some CTU to get themselves some angles as well. Mattis wants to get into the E-box. He's had so much success in this corner as well. Pot flash to try and draw the shot. Not going to happen. Jocko spamming away. Afro is here, waiting for this exact swing on the shoulder. He can't get it. Mattis, will he be able to bail his AWPer out? He will. Takes 2 bites at it, but he finds his shot. Afro deals with Exercise, and the A push has gone wrong. They're going to try and swarm out onto B here, and it's an isolated fight. Mattis continuing to have impact. The shining light of fnatic on Ancient is here to play on Anubis. A triple entry to the B-bomb site. Lucky to pick up the pieces for 3D Max. I mean, realistically, a kill. Hang on to that rifle would be good. Any more than that feels like a bonus. And he's going to satisfy himself with holding on to this rifle. fnatic, I think they'll let him live as well. You look over at the finances of that T side. Haven't really got enough money to be throwing bodies at a hunt here. Mattis is having a little bit of a look, and who can blame him? He's on an absolute tear. But it will be fnatic opening their account on Anubis. A first round of this T side. A much needed first round as well, you have to say. When you look at the numbers for these two lineups, both very T-sided. fnatic more than so than 3D Max. Also a slightly lower sample size, so the statisticians will tell you it's perhaps a little irrelevant. Money, of course, the ultimate betrayer of CT sides in this current version of CS, so despite winning the first 3, one goes wrong, and we've got no cash whatsoever. We're going to go for the Force Buy, though. 3D Max have made a fair few of those work so far this series. 4 MP9s, 1 M4A1 in the hands of Lucky. It's going to be aggression out towards B. Body is ready and waiting for this. He does get one before he goes down. Blame F the next to pick up the mantle, and a lovely angle gets him the opening. Jocko goes down, the man advantage is established. You can see Exercise wants to be cheeky with this. It's Maka, in fact. Wants to be cheeky, wants to push the smoke, wants to play the timings, but he's been spotted out now and he's going to have a horrid time here. Gets the dink onto Mattis, but it's not going to be enough. 3D Max have read this, though. Exercise and Lucky are both in good spots, and it does feel like, at least for now, fnatic want to go to that A split. Crim's lurking outside of Rugs. Problem is, there's still a minute on the clock, so there is all the time in the world for fnatic to sniff this one out and try and reset. They are going to start working their way up mid. Exercise to take the contact from Connector if it comes through. Which it looks like it will. Crims is going to sneak his way in towards A main. They're giving them a shot here, but the timing for Exercise is tragic. He leaves the angle right as the T side occupy it. Still gets one. Baits them in. Spray down from Lucky. Buys the 1v2. Doesn't know about Crims, who's lurked his way out, and he can't quite rein the shot in. Lucky does well to get two there. But he can't get any more than that. The M4A1 won't be the savior of 3D Max this time. Their 3-0 lead is slowly eaten away at, and this time surely the full eco. No more cash in the back pocket. Lucky could maybe go for the upgraded pistol, but with 2,400 loss, eyeing up a potential AWP drop across. Getting his in-game lead that early. So instead, it will be full pistols. One P250. All they'll opt to take. Gravity and Exercise, both on the P2K. Jocko and Mac are the more classic USP silenced edition. And it is a full A stack here, which again looks to be the right call. 3D Max have a nice idea of what's going on. They're going to draw the bodies in and see what they can get done. There's plenty of crosshairs to be taken. Nice spray downs from the AKs of Mattis and Body, though. Body helping himself to a triple. fnatic get past the full stack of the A bomb site with relative ease as well. It's something they really struggled with on Anubis, so a nice confidence builder at the very least. Rifles back out for 3D Max, and an opportunity perhaps to show us what they're made of. Last times these teams met, 7-5 half on 3D Max's CT of Anubis and an 8-4 CT half for 3D Max the other. So they have been a team that tends to impose themselves on the defensive halves. Gives us a bit of context to potentially work with as Afro. He wants the shoulder of Gravity. He needs the shot, and he'll get it. Gravity swinging. Goes down. Maka will get the fight back, though. Finds one. Jocko through the edge of the smoke. Takes a ton of damage, but gets a kill himself before the nade finishes him off. Blame F has found Maka on the extremities of the map in the meanwhile. He's bought his team the man advantage. With Mattis still in the server, this feels like it should be a done deal. Exercise and Lucky. They've got Temple, they've got Speedway, but they've not got mid. And, well, Afro, while he lurks outside of main, waits on Blame F. The lurking maestro himself working his way up mid. Shift key jammed into the keyboard. And he should have a free kill here. Exercise does not seem in the slightest aware of this timing. Mattis will get the shoulder. There's the freebie. There's the backstab. You could have written the script for it. Simple CS executed well by fnatic, and this is more like it. This is what we wanted to see from them. A bit of a fight back, a bit of life from the old beast. CT economy again going to betray 3D Max, though, down to the half bar, you have to imagine. And you'd like to see something a little more inventive from them, perhaps like a timeout after this one. See if you can come up with some different ideas for that CT side, because thus far, when the rifles have come out, it's been passive, sit back, let the execute come. Passive, let the execute come. They've not really tried anything different. It's not worked. This time, with pistols, it's a bit of a mid-stack. HE does a lot of the heavy lifting for fnatic, however. Both Lucky and Mac are tagged down. Spray down won't connect. And unfortunately for 3D Max, they stack mid, they stack A, fnatic go B. The round will be done. Spray down through the smoke, not quite connecting for Blame F, but the pop flash through it will actually isolate a fight onto this AK, so there's the kill they wanted. They've got an isolated AWP as well, can't quite punish Afro. Couple of wayward P250 shots, and he felt for a split second like his life might really be in danger. Not the case. And at this point, with bomb gone down, Afro trained on a long-range angle. He gets gravity. Turns into a bit of a play pigeon shoot this. Nice shot from Afro for the second. Jocko, well, he's close on the angle, but Crims is aware of it. And the round is done. Lucky will do well to hold on to this AK. And I think Exercise was fancy holding on to that MP9 as well. If fnatic want to let them. And it looks like indeed they will. 5th round on the board. Better for fnatic. Signs of life. Although, of course, it was the T side where this all fell apart on Anubis. T side? CT side, that's what I was going for. 3D Max, 4 CT rounds on Ancient. And that was all it took to get 13-9. They've got 3 rounds already here on Anubis, although the stats do suggest that they prefer that CT side on the second map. So they will take the timeout I was asking for. Bit of an opportunity to reset, rethink. Contemplate. Let your coach come in, give you a couple of ideas. It doesn't feel like fnatic have done anything particularly insightful, though, so I'm not sure how much input the coach will be able to have. It's been fairly basic so far. They've just hit their shots, which, well, they were doing on Ancient until they headed to the CT side. Feels like we need someone to step up over on the 3D Max side of things. Not necessarily known for their star firepower. I mean, Maka can bring it. Jocko to a certain extent as well, but certainly not the storied names that this fnatic lineup has. And Afro's going to have his chance again. Posted on the stairs, a couple of smokes deny him his opportunity, and a nicely timed HE from the A-bomb site. Just tickles away at him and Mattis. Reminds them that there is still issues to be worried about, and the CT side, well, they take it one step further. They start to press this issue. Nice angle for Jocko. Gets the better of body. Said 3D Max wanted to try something a little different. Needed to see some proactivity from this CT side, and that's exactly what we get. Big opening kill, and it's funneling them into the A-bomb site at the moment. Maka posted on the pillar. Big angle, big shot. Needs something out of your AWP here. Mattis is going to shoulder it, and Maka is up for the task. Lovely connection. The man advantage becomes 2, and this is much more like it now for the CT side. Afro posted in the doors, but Exercise, well, he's played Ringer Rosie and got him. Crimson blame F to try and pick up the pieces. Molotov to force Maka out of the angle, but it actually only pushes him back a couple of inches. Blame F goes for the lurk and is put down. And fnatic, well, revert to type somewhat. Proactivity from the CT side denies them any opportunity. Crims is looking for the ultimate lurk here, and well, Exercise might well give it to him. Indeed, it's an off angle. Works well for the rifler. They gift him a second, and now you start to get scared. Now you know just who you're facing in this server, but Gravity puts it down before it gets too interesting. 4th on the board. They've matched their Ancient here, 3D Max. Anything from here on out is a bonus. It's not going to be easy to get any more, though. fnatic are going to be buying up again. They are going to have a full complement of rifles. 3D Max will be aware that the last 2 times these teams have faced off on Anubis, it has been their CT side that has carried them the majority of the way to victory. So as they eye up these numbers, perhaps that'll be playing an eerie melody in the back of their heads. More aggression. This time it's into the canals. A dropping AWP presents a freebie. Afro goes down. Mattis again, desperately trying to have impact. Does well to get a kill, but immediately is traded. Gravity, through a popped smoke, I believe, in B main, gets the better of body. And with the in-game leader down, it falls to the old hands once more. Blame F and Crims. They know how to play this game. The shadow bait is nice from Blame F, but takes a lot of damage for his trouble. Even tries to bait the drop. Using every trick he's got in the book here. Crims, meanwhile, trying to work his way out A. Has found some tags onto Exercise. Forced the rifler to play a little more passively. Blame doesn't look too interested in joining him at the moment, though. Still working his way out towards middle. And that's just going to sell Crims up the river. Nothing for him to do as Blame... Well, we saw him try this once. He shoulder baited the angle. He lost half his health. He's going to try it again. This time he's full blind. And he's stuck in towards the nest. Does well to get one. But at this point, he's starting to feel a little bit trapped. There's 35 seconds on the clock. 3D Max don't necessarily look like they want to let sleeping dogs lie here. They are going to go for a bit of a push out of the connector and exercise well. He's well placed. That felt dangerous. But the trade is efficient enough. We level out at 5 apiece. The economy's still not broken for Fnatic, believe it or not. They will buy again, and 3D Max will have to weather the storm once more. How many times have we said that? How many times have they been forced to play against the full buys of Fnatic? The economy game in CS2 is a cruel beast. As Fnatic do take their first time out, feels about the right time to be taking it. We spoke about those two previous Anubises. One of them is 7-5 half. 3D Max starting to reel that back in now. Certainly feels like their CT sides start to have more effect. Fnatic starting to feel like they're transitioning to old ways. To what we saw on Ancient, just a slightly blunt offensive at times. A little isolated, a little 1v1. Blame, while he's getting impact out of those lurks, it's not game-winning, round-winning impact. Selling a few too many teammates up the river, perhaps. But they do still have their rifles. They do still have a shot at taking the lead at the halftime. Their T side has a chance at working again. Lucky wants to try and put the pressure back on. Does get aggressive into it. Blame, while he's getting impact out of those lurks, it's not game-winning, round-winning impact. Selling a few too many teammates up the river, perhaps. But they do still have their rifles. They do still have a shot at taking the lead at the halftime. Their T side has a chance at working again. Lucky wants to try and put the pressure back on. Does get aggressive into A main initially. Nothing seen, nothing gained. Nothing lost either as he backs away. It's an interesting lean, this. Gravity, I think, is actually out into the canals here. Out through E-box. Or is he tucked mid? He's tucked mid. I was about to say that'd be a hell of a lurk. It's not going to be. He's tucked and they don't clear him initially. Blame F does well to find him at the second time of asking. Maka can't quite connect the shot that was needed, and well, the setup has been disassembled quite brutally by Fnatic there. You could see the idea between Gravity and Maka, but a missed shot from the AWPer leaves the rifler vulnerable. And now Jocko. And if there was ever a time to step up, it's now for the big man. A nice spray down for first. He knows there's a lot more where that came from. Looks to back away Speedway, keep his life, keep a chance in the 3-on-4, and that he does. Afro will look to plant this one down. There's a long flank coming in. Crim's the one to try and make it. Nade onto the site doesn't really do enough to Afro. Stays up towards the temple. Nice shot working the angle towards Speedway. Doubles it up. Orpa's on a tear. He wants all three. He will walk in to exercise his bullets somewhat, but that's irrelevant now. The round will be Fnatic's. A 6th on the board. The T side fights back once again. Another lull. 5-3, but as Fnatic put the last man down, they are finding their feet again. One last chance for 3D Max to have impact in this first half, and it's another tough buy for this CT side, where all of the luck was going their way in the first map, where all of the financial opportunities were coming to them. As half buys were working, the pistol buys were getting damaged. This one has felt much more standard. It's been a tough old road to get 5 for 3D Max, and they would be very happy, I'm sure, to leave with 6 honours even. Maka goes for the early peak. Can't quite land the shot. Takes some chip damage from the rifle of body. Counter chip damage onto Mattis. It's not bad, but the nade's just not quite lined up the way they would have wanted. Mattis is playing with fire, though. Spam down. He jumps out the way. Shows a glimpse of his head to the rifle of Jocko, who very nearly takes full advantage. So they'll double back. B-bomb site, Afro sets himself. The timing on this is going to be everything, and Afro's got the better of him. He's got the better of exercise as well. The timings are off by half a second, and that's enough. Maka does well. Grabs a solitary kill, resets the offensive of fnatic, in fact, and with Mattis so low on health, this one's not done yet. Maka wants more, and he goes a little too keen. Desperate to be the hero of the hour. He gets punished for it. Crims gets the aggression of Jocko as well, and it's all onto Gravity. A 1v2 to be stitched together for the 20-year-old Frenchman. He's still in towards mid. He's not aware yet of where they've worked to, and he's only got MP9 to work with. Crimson Body. Full health to play. All the time in the world, all the space to set their after plant. Gravity tucked in the temple smoke. Here's the reset. Wants to get ahead of it. He won't. 7-5. fnatic with the lead as we head to the halftime. Felt like this one may have turned into a blowout quite swiftly, but fnatic do continue to fight. 7-5 at the halftime. A team who traditionally have been very T-sided on this map, but perhaps not as confident building as you would have hoped. But they are not done yet. They will continue to fight for all they're worth here. That lower bracket looking a very dangerous beast indeed. Won't want to be headed there. Won't want to have to face some of the teams dropping down. We got Cloud9 Heroic on the A stream. One of those teams is going to be in the lower bracket. And that is a savage place to be. 3D Max. 2-0 against fnatic in the last 6 months. Looking to make it a clean 3. Lucky up close. Going to take the early fight against Mattis. And that just isn't even fair. Cleaning up house. The opening kill is found. Pop flash in. They are still going to hit this A site, or at least think about it. And there's plenty of presence here for now. fnatic with 3. Flashed off the angle. Flash back in. Change their mind. Reset. And the timings become everything. fnatic with 3. Looking to walk down mid. Looking to catch the timing. Potentially catch a drop. See if someone is perhaps unawares. Body for now lurks solo in towards the B bomb site. Spotted out Speedway. Bomb goes down. And now it's decision time for this CT side. They're going to fast flank. Crim's working his way through B main. Off angle. Kills Lucky. Blame F. The Julies find Maka towards the stairs. And now this gets ugly and they know it. They need to take a fight and they do. Jocko, clean headshot onto body. Exercise. Here's the steps working their way out. It's the Julies to blame F. They come true once again. Crims with one more. And it's all on the youngster. 1v3. He can only find the first. fnatic. A critical 8th round. The right way to start your CT side. Much needed. Desperately needed for fnatic. The exact start they would have wanted. Get this one done quickly before 3D Max can really build the momentum. Then you head to Inferno. Inferno's a level playing ground. It's a fair fight at least. Maybe that fills you with a bit of hope. 3D Max are going to force, though. The bomb down, it will be a good force, as it always is. Rifle forward buy from fnatic as well, knowing how critical this round could be, how important the outcome of this force is to their hopes of staying in the upper bracket. Massive lean to start things off from the DT side, just holding their angles. Nobody really wanting to be the one to step out of line and make the mistake first. Does mean Canal's control conceded. Does mean mid is left wide open for now, but there's a repeat coming. Through Body and Mattis, they take E-Box back. To lock a bit of control out. And 3D Max is still just lying in wait, letting fnatic burn that util. Before they start to think about making some moves themselves. Here comes the A main lean. Crims flashed in beautifully. Gets the first. The spray down's good for the double. The molly will mean nothing, licking at his feet. And that's the bomb down in no man's land now. This starts to get really ugly. There's a fast-paced flank coming through the canals all the while. Blef knows he's perfectly positioned here. Takes the dink. Backs out of the situation. But there's Afro with the triple spray down on the FAMAS to finish. This is the fnatic we knew could show up. A much better look from them. And 3D Max perhaps left scratching their heads a little bit. They look so good. T-side of Ancient. Is it going to be a one and done from them? Or perhaps can this half buy give them a little bit of something? That little magic X factor. They've lacked it at times. It's been a team effort to get them this far. What's the call? Pistols are out. Handful of HEs. Which you'd expect to be stacked towards some quarter of the map. Blame looking to get proactive with it. Peek out the mid window, spots out a couple of bodies. Quite able to find the connection. Second time of asking, goes back, grabs Maka. And now this B lean looks ugly. They nade stack into the E-box, nothing found. They charge on out, but the molly is good. The spray is better. Mattis gets 1, 2, 3. Lucky able to find at least a trade. But Blame F is immediately there to mop up the pieces as is expected. fnatic on 10. 3 rounds away. They've been close before. Can they find the conversion on this occasion? Full rifles are out for 3D Max. Feels like they need a timeout perhaps. They picked Anubis all 3 times they've played against fnatic in the last 6 months. Have fnatic finally worked them out? Certainly looking that way, feeling like that's a possibility. Afro cycles the AWP over towards the A-bomb site. And again, it's a very passive start from 3D Max, just settling into their default. The util now starting to come out to clear a couple of these angles away. Blame F and Afro to hold on to that mid control, and it is going to be contested here. Gravity and Maka, they want this A split. They've left Lucky to lurk outside B, make sure there's not too much going on there. Afro mollied out of Con. But they're running out of util now on this T side. Not a whole lot left to make something happen. And Mattis is starting to get curious. Body with him. Maka and Jocko are actually looking to double towards B here. They've cleared off the mid angles, just hoping perhaps to clear the rotations and isolate a fight towards one of these bomb sites. 45 seconds on the clock. The bomb still over towards T stairs. Someone's going to have to go and retrieve that shortly. Maka trusted with the responsibility. Those footsteps heard. It's an A stack though from fnatic, and at the moment that looks like a wrong call. Or is it? They double back again. 3D Max are in their own heads here a little bit. And you start to wonder if that's going to be a real issue. 20 seconds on the clock. They have not got a lot of time left to make this one work. Afro backs off the con angle. Horrendous timing. Here comes the split. Crims again does so well to get one. Now it's that AWPer. Backside. 10 seconds. Just has to stay alive. Can't do it. Plant must go down in the 3-on-3 and does. But Exercise and Lucky are tagged up. All three looking to group beach, and here they come. Lucky is tucked fishtail. Maka tries to get into a position to support, but it leaves him a little isolated on this pillar. Lucky wants to get out, wants to reset his angle, give himself something to work with, works to the cake, sees all three, can't land any. Now it's on that AWP. Maka tags one, he's got to get the reload off, and he can't. It's all Exercise. He wants to get up on the table, and the jump betrays him. A flawless retake from fnatic. 3D Max, I mean, we talked about fnatic being the experienced ones. Perhaps that inexperience starting to show through a little bit. A botched 3-on-3 retake, you have to say. Not a single kill found by the T side, as fnatic, with limited time on the clock, had to swarm in. Inferno is knocking. Will fnatic answer the door here? 11-5 up. Buy comes in from 3D Max. Last chance saloon on their map pick. Don't forget, they took fnatic's map pick. Riding high. Headed to a map they've beat them on both times they've met. A map which fnatic's numbers are not great on. But that team play, that cohesion has been elusive on the battleground of Anubis. Crims, Mattis, Afro, Blame F as well, all fragging out for fnatic. 3D Max just not quite able to match the numbers, it feels. Almost saw that in the stats on Ancient, but the team play was enough to get over it. Anubis, a more firepower leaning map perhaps. It's going to be something cheeky here for 3D Max. It's going to be the B pop. Body and Mattis to receive it. Here comes the util. Pop flash is bad. Hits the stairs. Exercise does well to trade it 1-for-1. And now it's Mattis again. He's consistently had impact for this fnatic lineup. Consistently been the man in this series to dig them out of trouble. And, well, initially he chooses to back off. A little bit of spam through the speedway, and that does betray his position. Maka gets the kill. 4-on-3 after plant. Got to imagine that this is 3D Max stitching together what will be their first round of the T side. Crims at range, can't quite deal with gravity. And at this point, Blame F and Afro. I mean, you've got money on most of your players, but realistically, what you care about more is punishing, and there you go. Gravity caught, knife out, trying to hunt. So at this point, Blame F and Afro will be allowed to save. Exercise, Lucky and Maka will try and hold on to what they've got, because they've not got a lot of cash behind them. And they are just 2 rounds away from needing a deciding third map. Blame F on that angle again, catches Lucky. Exercise and Maka need to play this one cautiously, and they do. Back away right before it gets interesting. A 6th round, something for the T side, but so much more required where that came from. And as if to rub salt in the wounds, fnatic immediately take a timeout. The first moment you have success, no momentum, hard reset. Let's see if you can do it again. Still got the buy, still got plenty of cash in the reserve as well. 1900 loss bonus, body on 9250 as he buys down. Yeah, they should be able to skim a buy together. Mattis might be struggling. Everyone else should be able to get something. And they've got 5 rounds to play with now. They've got a bit of a cushion, fnatic, if things start to go wrong. And here's a big if at the moment. 3D Max haven't really felt like they can cause problems on this T side so far. A bit of a shooting range for likes of Blame F and Mattis. They've taken full advantage. What's the call here, Maka? What's the play? Heavy B lean to start things off. A drop down, and this is a fast-paced play. They want the B side. They want it now. Body going to be forced out by the Molly. Jocko spamming away. He's tagged down low, but he's not dealt with yet. Maka does get Mattis inside of the site. Blade trying to swing, does very well to get 2, and there's Body somehow still alive in towards the E-box. Finally put down. All that time he bought critical. That bomb yet to go down. 3D Max have got to be careful here. Maka and Lucky, what do they want to do? They're toying with getting an opening pick. Maka's going to tap it. Nobody on the peak just yet. Afro is inside of that smoke, though. You've got to be careful here, mate. Crims now starts to make his approach. Afro tucks into the temple. Maka's got to hold 2 angles at once, and the AWPer is just an inch away from giving him that crosshair. He knows there's one there, but now Crims sneaks around the corner. There's the freebie. And Lucky is left. A veteran. To try and find this 2v1. Crims is working his way up. He knows he needs a pick, but he's tucked into this corner now. He's got to commit to it. Afro drive-by on the tech. And with a kit to defuse, the round is done. 12 on the board. fnatic with 6 opportunities to take us the distance. How have they turned this around? 3D Max just falling flat. A T-side in tatters, a single round to their name on their map pick. fnatic, the multi-kill merchants, and here's the aggression. I like this. Mattis on the jump spot, seen it. HE's ring out. Quite finding the connection thereafter, and Gravity's actually able to punish 1 on the transfer, but again, it's Mattis. Swinging backwards, 2 quick kills. Where the trade had to happen, it does not, and 3D Max once again left in limbo. Afro misses the first shot, but he's able to reset, gets another bite at it, and this time exercise will go down. Missed shot from both AWPers. Leaves Maka in no man's land here. He does very well to find 1, and Lucky actually finds a second to keep this hope alive. Isolated fight in mid, but again, Mattis went a little quiet for half a moment on map 1, but he is back with a vengeance as he leaves Maka in a 1v2. AWPer stuck inside of sight, knows he needs a pick. He's going to start wandering for it. Works his way to heaven, but Crims has tucked. Got to clear all the angles here, and he does. Buys himself the 1v1. Position now known. Bomb halfway ticked. Mattis, the youngster. 3 kills to his name in the round. Hasn't got any util. Looks to clear it out. Maka misses 1. Mattis is going to go for the stick. He's going to be brave about it. And then Maka swings on round. A huge clutch from the captain. A triple in the round. 6 becomes 5. The first opportunity sails on by fnatic, but there are so many more, and that is the problem now for 3D Max. They haven't got any room for error. It has to be flawless, and so far, this T-side has been anything but. Timeout taken. Some words of wisdom, I'm sure, from the coach. But it's not going to be great for fnatic. If you're looking for silver linings, potentially down onto some upgraded pistols. Blame F doing Blame F things. Of course, he's got a rifle. Are they going to go for this? They're thinking about it. Crims was invested. No, he sold it. He's been told off. Not allowed. Back to the MP9 for you. Body is toying with a FAMAS, but decides he likes utility more. Drops to the 5.7, and there we go. Handful of pistols. Blame F on the rifle. Crims on the MP9. Can fnatic pull off the unlikeliest of rounds, or will 3D Max start to creep into this one? Third T-side round potentially on the cards for them. A feel-good round if nothing else. Confidence builder headed to Inferno. Fast-paced play down mid, and they want this fight. They want to get into this A site early. The problem is they've lost A main in the meanwhile. Jocko will deal with Afro. That's the A site. But A main is still a problem. There's rifles there to play with. Blame F does well. Trades Crims down. Keeps his team up. Then 3-on-3, make it 3-on-2. Maka doing what he can. Steadies the ship. Now it's Body on that Deagle. Maka's having none of it, and they know where the last man is. So hightail it to B is the call. Blame F looking for the 4K. Looking for the big round. Big round for a big man. This was only a half buy, don't forget. Still 3 kills. Found for now. There is an opportunity for more. Lucky and Maka. Unsure of Blame F's position. They planted 4 Speedway. Lucky lies there. Maka's actually playing close with a pistol. Feels like they're in the wrong positions, but with the bomb so far ticked already, Blame resigns himself to picking up some exit kills. The smoke towards B main makes that even more improbable. The spam down makes it a certainty. He'll back out. The 2 rifles will save into the next. Bit of a handshake at the end, but fnatic will be happy with that. 3 kills out of very limited firepower. Again, 3D Max just feeling a little sloppy, a little inconsistent on a couple of those clears. fnatic feeling like that firepower's come to play. Blame F 22 and 11. 17 kills for Mattis. High impact kills as well. Afro joining him up there. Just have to look at the kills down 3D Max's side of things. It's just not quite been the same as it was on Ancient. Maka leading the charge. He was right up there on map 1 as well, but needs a couple of his team to join him if he's going to have a chance of forcing the overtime here in map 2. Passive again. Settling into this one. 4 more required if we are going to take this to the overtime. A little bit of util out from 3D Max, just starting to clear some of the close angles. Molotovs into the E-box, Molotovs into A main, but it's Afro again, and it's an open shooting gallery. Exercise a lonely swing. Quickly punished, and that's just the kind of half mistake we weren't seeing on map 1. Talk about team play, interplay. Missed shot. Punished. Man disadvantage for Maka to try and talk his way out of now. It's going to be, again, that mid-crunch, and it does feel like the A site's been vulnerable for fnatic. Afro spots 1, and Gravity goes back for it. Probably sees it on the mini-map. It's a little too keen, a little too greedy, perhaps. Punished again. And this feels like it could be it. 3-on-5, 3D Max. Revert to plan B. The B bomb site. Body and Mattis lie in wait. The double goblin setup. How hard will they clear this? Mattis takes first contact. Well cleared by Jocko. They don't clear the second. Spray and a dink. Jocko on 3 HP. Thinks about going for it. Realizes he's got to be the one to plant this one down. And that buys precious seconds. Fast-paced flank to Speedway for Crimson Afro. That AWP. It's going to be a hell of a flick from Maka. Again, 2 angles, no time. Backs away from it. How much impact can that AWP possibly have in this situation? Jocko knows he's got no health. He's got to be cheeky. He's got to do something stupid here. Sits in the smoke. Blame F with the punish. Maka 1v3 misses. Deagle comes out. He spams down 2. He wants it, but he won't get it. 2 headshots not quite enough. 13-8 fnatic. They will force the decider. They make it a little more difficult than it perhaps had to be, but they get the job done on their opposition's map pick, and the mental reset from fnatic is absolutely monstrous. You have to say it. They lost their own map pick. They were demolished on their CT side. Tenacity, Namiga, DMS, Passion UA, and then losses to the likes of Sinners, 5W, and Sinners again, actually, in the last 3 months. So it's one of those maps where I think both of these teams feel like they have a shot, but neither of these teams is going to feel like the most comfortable one in the world. And potentially the team that gets that T-side start and gets the momentum early could be the deciding factor. And it is actually going to be 3D Max who get their T-side start. A heavy amount of util brought into this one. Quick nades towards top banana. Gravity blinded up, but it's irrelevant. Afro now with it all to do towards top banana, and it's one and done. Chipped away out before he can get anything going. A smoke towards CT will cut Crims out of this fight and body. Well, he's desperately waiting. He needs this flashbang over the top. He gets it. First shot doesn't connect. The molly still awkward, and Gravity just caught a little unawares as Crims now rotating into coffins has found another, and fnatic are fighting for their chance here in this pistol. Felt like it was good and done with Gravity finding a couple of very quick kills towards top banana, but now bomb in no man's land. Exercise and Maka trapped top banana. And all three of the CTs lying in wait. Long-range angles to play as well. 3D Max just sit off the angle for now. Hoping perhaps that by waiting long enough, they'll draw a couple of these fnatic players into thinking about the long flank. You can see Mattis on the minimap, flicking between coffins and watching for the push. In and around through construction. Maka and Exercise just working their way out, but Crimson Body with the double new box. Maka does very well to find one. A ding onto Mattis makes this feel winnable, and it's all on Crims. Backside, he can't break the spray in, and somehow 2-on-3 becomes 2-on-none. And that is exactly the start we needed to see from 3D Max. They struggled individually, but they are back with a bang in the pistol. Beautiful start from the T side and a lovely little confidence builder. Here we go again. They needed that. Force buy-in from fnatic is an ugly one. Pistols front to back. And yeah, HE's invested in as well. I mean, on a map like Inferno, you can kind of rate it and you can see what it's done. Lucky the man who's forced to chew on it. Down to 34. Jocko on 71 as well. And this is where potentially those pistols do feel that little bit more dangerous. And you've got a couple of tags. I mean, Lucky will definitely be one-shot headshot for basically everything now down that CT equipment list. And Jocko's pretty damn close to it as well. 3D Max aware this one needs to be clean. Can't be giving away these kind of rounds. It's going to be problematic. So they'll look to group up towards top and middle. Afro with the smoke in. Still a good amount of utility available though. Crimson blame F. A HE each. Afro's got one in his hands as well, but unfortunately fnatic seem to have read this one. I spoke about it a little bit in the pre-game about how Inferno can become a game of intuition and instinct more than perhaps tactics and nous at times, and it becomes for that CT side a guessing game of stacks and bluffs. Fortunately, Jocko's bluff seems to have done just enough to draw all of fnatic away from this A-bomb site, and 3D Max will walk in unopposed. It's one of the unfortunate aspects of Inferno, I think, and you will hear me whining about Inferno plenty in this final map, I'm sure. Seasides, it's long rotations to get between the sites. It's tough rotations. You can get cut off very easily. So it does become a bit of a guessing game, especially on these sort of situations when you're forced into a round. Your firepower's not quite where you want it. You're better off going for the kind of gamble stack, putting all your eggs in one basket. And if 3D Max walk into that B-bomb site, they walk into 5 crosshairs, and it gets very sketchy very quickly. But if they don't, you end up sort of shrugging your shoulders. Fine, we'll save all this. We'll have 4 guns to bring into the next one. We'll give it another go then. And it's an unfortunate aspect of just how Inferno's designed and how the map plays out that you end up in these situations, combined with, of course, the known atrocities that are CT economy situations. You can't be throwing away firepower unnecessarily. So you end up with nice boring rounds like that where everyone goes and saves on a bomb site. But it's done now. It's out of the way. fnatic will be happy that they have 4 pistols upgraded to try and take some damage into this round. See if maybe you can strip away a couple of those rifles. Gravity and Jocko, they'll be looking to farm up some cash here. Afro with no body armor. Crims with no head armor. I mean, 3 of them have got full Kevlar, so those Mat 10s can be a little bit of a risk. fnatic once again looking for the B heavy stack, and well, at the moment it's not looking like the correct call. Brackets control is established. Gravity leading the charge on that Mac 10. It's a triple stack towards B, and again, you like the idea. It's a bit of a novelty. Always worth trying something different in these sort of situations. No point playing a default round. You know you're going to get overwhelmed with the firepower, so why not try and be a bit cheeky with it? Missed archway smoke as well from the T side. If this is a rifle round, it gets very sketchy. Or is it? They actually want to double back in, and now this starts to get a little nervy. Now you start to feel yourself edging towards the front of your seat. A triple stack towards the new boxes, and Body's 5-7 just finds a clean kill to open things up. He should go down instantly here, and indeed he does. Gravity gets the kill. Still, 3D Max aren't entirely sure where they want to take this one. BlameF has been spotted. The stack is yet to be seen, but Mattis has just straight up won the duel against Lucky. And this is getting really nervy now. Exercise does well to find BlameF, and that will open up the A site. 3D Max have enough of a read on the situation that they do go to the right place. They do deal with the 1 pistol on A. And as a result, they will get this round. But again, it's very sketchy. A lot of individual fights going against them there. I mean, Body straight up wins a 1v1 with a 5-7. Mattis straight up wins a 1v1. I think he had a P250 at the time, and he straight up wins that fight. Afro goes down to 1, but he will be allowed to hold on to the Galil, and that's a lovely little win for the CT side. So at 3-0, Exercise and Maka will save the rifles across, and we will get into the interesting stuff. The meat on the bone now for Inferno. The rifle buys are coming, and we can finally start getting excited about a half-decent round of CS. Let's see what the buy looks like for fnatic. Good util across the board. Afro goes for it. CT side more forgiving for the AWP on this map than the T, certainly. So Maka will stick with his trusty AK-47. Solid enough buy for 3D Max as well. I mean, they lose a few more bodies than they would have hoped in the previous round, but T side finances are fantastic. Still able to get a good buy. Still plenty in the back pocket as well, should they need it. And it looks like we're going to have a brawl on Banana. Classic Inferno to start things off, although both teams just back away from it after the initial bout of utility. fnatic here with 3, meaning business. A couple of jump spots from Mattis. Body there with him. The halfway house smoke, just keeping them a little bit interested in this. Now the deep smoke starts to come through. And this will be the banana take coming through from the CT side. And this is where Inferno, again, becomes the game of guessing and bluffing and timings. Because Mattis and Afro, if they wanted, could take that banana control entirely. Instead, they're going to back out of the situation, post Afro on the AWP, right on the angle. Doesn't even go for a pick initially, just resets onto the half wall. And well, he's going to get his chance now. Lucky swinging on by, goes to the crosshairs and is found. A lovely shot from Afro. Big opening kill. The molly's just going a little bit awry there. Maka can't quite get his in. A HE, sure, but that's not going to be enough. Maka legged up now as they charge on in, and that just opens up the floodgates for Mattis. Big triple kill out of the rifler. And as soon as the guns come out for fnatic, it's an almost flawless success. All 5 players kept up. Plenty going for them. And for 3D Max, I think some early questions to be asked there. I mean, you saw a little bit of it on Anubis. Just fluffing the lines, the trade frags not quite there, but a missed Molotov, a slightly wayward HE, and then not to get a single trade on entry there. Sending, well, 4 players, if you don't count Lucky, who got picked on the initial swing top banana, into 2 and not finding anything at all for 3D Max. It's not the best look in the world. Still the rifles there for the Frenchman, though. As fnatic want to take the fight to them, and so much damage done through the smoke in the opening seconds. Body goes down. Mattis gets the better of Jocko 4x3'd, I think. Just couldn't see the man close to his right. And this round, it's unfortunate, but it feels like it's over before it's even started. We're going to need a big shot out of somebody to crack open this A site. And Crims, well, he's starting to rotate in. BlameF in support. And as much as Exercise and Gravity are in a vaguely promising position towards the apartments, their days certainly feel numbered. As they start this walk on out, the crossfire is there. There's so many bodies waiting for this. Body himself actually fancies a bit of it. Gravity does very well. It's a lovely double kill. It's just a shame it's not in different circumstances as Maka is left on his own V3. Still 30 seconds, so still plenty of opportunity, and you can see fnatic have got to respect the possibility, but Body on the off angle, or is he? Maka, lightning fast reactions, and now it is a guessing game. He's got no idea where the CTs are. He doesn't know that this site is unoccupied, but he's got to get that bomb down swiftly. Mattis has gone for the long flank. Works his way through the brackets. Afro out towards long. If Maka can isolate this initial fight, he's in with a shot here, but Mattis is having none of it. Lightning fast, and that form from the young rifler continuing to be an issue. The BM continuing to be an issue. You can hear Mattis spamming away at corpses. Lucky on 4, not where he wants to be. fnatic 2 and 3 starting to get back to where they would like to be. Growing in confidence as the series goes on. Still not the best buy in the world for the CT side though. BlameF down onto the MP9. Otherwise, solid across the board. And 3D Max, it's ugly. You can sort of see why BlameF has opted to drop down to the MP9 realistically. No armor. Lots of pistols. Lots of damage to be had. Afro, smart decision initially, just backs away from it. Does lurk around a little longer than perhaps you'd like, and he is going to get run down here. A lot of pistols headed his way, and not a lot of shots ringing out from the AWP. So suddenly, Afro's down. Gravity's recovered himself an AWP. What can he do with it? They know everyone is here near enough. So the CTs start to try and pincer this. Mattis and Body working their way in towards spawn. There's a lot of bodies, but not a lot of firepower to go with them. It's a 2-for-1. Nice flashbang. Body on the angle. Does well with the pre-fire spray. And BlameF is to back his man up. Maka left in the 1v3. Does find himself a shot and could do with a bomb plant here. Timing is going to be everything. BlameF is fast on the initial swing, but how much longer is he going to stay there? Not quite in time. Gets himself an M4, but concedes a plant to Maka, and that's a nice win from this buy. Didn't have a lot coming into it, so to get that extra cash, fantastic stuff. And it buys Maka half a chance here at the 1v2. Favoured gun in his hands. BlameF low, but that becomes irrelevant at this stage. Way around to the coffins. Crim shouldering the angle. It's really unfortunate for Maka. Only the leg, and it's just not quite going to be enough. If he lands the clean shot there, you can really see that getting dangerous. But as it stands, just a tag. Everything's level at 3 apiece, but as much as it feels disappointing to not see 3D Max maybe stitch that round together, you've got to remember they only came into it with a handful of upgraded pistols, so 3 kills and a bomb plant. That's a fantastic situation to find yourselves in, and it's a nice blueprint for breaking this defense down as well. It gives you a couple of ideas. Potentially some weaknesses in Afro's AWPing towards a long that can be exploited, worked around. What's the plan now? The rifles come out again for 3D Max. Yet to take a pause. If the next couple of rounds go awry, wouldn't be surprised to see if their coach has some input. Huge HE damage again to open this round up, though, from fnatic. Lucky down to 32 before he's seen a man. And this is the problem now. They want this banana control, but at what cost? Just settling into the opening moments. They will be given banana. There's a decent amount of utility left on the 2B site defenders. Not really enough to plan a full retake. I mean, Mattis' molly from there, potentially combined with a smoke, could do some work. Lacking flashbangs to get themselves into the angle, so instead they'll just sit back on it. drop the first of their defensive smokes. It does look like the B-Rap is the final call, though, here from 3D Max. 3 players towards top banana, a couple working their way round A long. And as they work their way through the arches, I mean, this B-bomb site starts to look very vulnerable for fnatic. They went for the 3-man stack. The short setup with Pit and Mini Pit, but it's left them vulnerable to long. And without the utility coming out, 3D Max just opting to completely shift walk through it. There's so many timings in play here. And Afro, well, it's actually blamef who gets punished for it. Goes a little too keenly into the angle. Get the dink on Gravity, but the AK does one better. And Jocko's AK does one better again. It's all on Mattis. He's done so much for this fnatic lineup, but this time it's nothing. An explosion of kills on the screen, and suddenly 3D Max have burst into that B-bomb site. The bomb goes down. And we can all take a nap, because Afro and Grims are going to be saving for the next 35 seconds while this bomb ticks away. So really well orchestrated round from 3D Max, though. It's a calculated risk, you have to say. Out A long, no smoke towards Library, no smoke towards the arches, no smoke to stop the long swing. Just taking the fight straight as they are, and it's a lovely read from Maka if he gets it right, which he does. All 3 players from fnatic stacked up short side. They walk around, they pinch the B-bomb site. You can see Blame on the rotation, had no idea where to look. First of the rifle rounds coming through for 3D Max. They're going to need plenty more where that came from. An opportunity here as fnatic, I think, recognizing that, immediately call the timeout. If you can break the economy CT side of Inferno, that first break is so critical to a solid T side half. Because as soon as you get into that situation, you're putting the CT side on notice. Those buys get worse. You have to make harsher and harsher decisions about the balance between utility and firepower, which is such an important decision-making process. Inferno, utility is utterly essential, and you'll frequently see teams sacrificing more, if not all, of their firepower to get the utility in hand. It's very much unlike any other map in that regard. So if you get that first CT economy break, it becomes so difficult for them to build back into the half and really get something going their way. But you've got to get there first, and fnatic aren't going to go down quietly. Full buy into this one, plenty of util, plenty of firepower. Trying to contest top banana, Jocko in with the punish. He is blind for the refrag though. Mattis is there, and now the utility starts to pay. Tagging up Gravity and Lucky, and well, fnatic are thinking about fighting this again. Another HE comes through, more damage done, huge, as Gravity and Lucky go down to 11 and 13 respectively. Those HEs worth their weight in gold, and you start to see why I'm talking about teams sacrificing firepower for utility, because utility is damage dealing in its own right. 3D Max, after getting the initial pick, would have felt this round was headed in a fantastic direction. Instead, you got 2 players clinging to life, and Mattis and blamef ready to receive them. What a duo to have locking down this B-bomb site. Mattis, of course, has got to be conscious of CT. They've seen a couple of timings go against them there previously. Afro just starting to shift around towards this B-bomb site based on the fact blamef Crims has heard and seen nothing. So there's going to be 3 here in time for the hit. Nice shot by Afro. Mattis through the smoke gets one more. Gravity does very well on low HP and continues to, as he finds a second lightning quick headshot and buys his team a desperately needed chance at glory here. Afro's no-scope won't connect. The problem again is that Gravity, despite being the hero, is down to 11 HP, and as Maka gets taken out by Afro, the youngster is stuck in what should surely be an impossible conundrum here. Sat inside his own CT smoke. Afro's going to go through it, and that opens up half the timing, but he'll be very aware of this as a possibility as Gravity just tucks. Knows he needs to isolate an early fight, and there it is. Nice headshot. Now it's all about how brave you're feeling, youngster. How long will you hold? There's no tap, there's no sound cues, and with 11 HP, Gravity has done it. The 1v2, 3 of the 4 kills are his. The bomb nearly gets the last of them, and that is a vintage clutch. in such a critical moment. Gravity steps up. He had a disastrous map too, 7 and 19. But he's back. And he's back in a big way. 11 and 5. He breaks the CT economy. 3D Max take their first tactical timeout. And, well, it's a big one because fnatic, I talked about their economy being broke. They've decided it's not. They're going to force anyway. And this is where you start to see those sacrifices that we talk about. Crims, MP9, just one smoke. Body, the in-game leader, he drops down to the MP9 to make sure he's got a full belt of util. Mattis has to go for a FAMAS, a horrid weapon, to make sure he's got a full belt of nades as well. Perhaps worth acknowledging at this point that he's 11 and 4 as well, so both the young guns making a hell of an impression. .3D Max, another huge opportunity after a monstrous clutch there from Gravity to really break the economy of fnatic. 6 rounds, T-side Inferno would be fantastic. Broken economy even more so, because that's just a golden ticket to all the more. Afro trying to have impact on this AWP early, though, has boosted up Banana. We've seen 3D Max contest this a fair few times. And Crims is close. This is a tough clear for Exercise. The timing on it will be everything. And all Crims has bitten a little early. Can't quite get his shot off. Gravity called into support. And Crims will be able to get away before that comes through. So a little bit of damage, nothing else. And now we start to see the setup for 3D Max. And well, fnatic is starting to see it as well. Gravity gets one, quickly traded away. Blame F on an off angle, but Exercise lightning to the head of Afro, and that's a free A bomb site. Or is it? Blame F fast flank gets one. The bomb dropped for the briefest of moments. Lucky very alive to the threat, able to recover it, but it's a 2v3 after plant. And Exercise and Lucky haven't been having the series of their lives so far. 4 and 4, 0 and 6. They need some kills here. They need something. With Mattis up on the fnatic side of things as well. This feels dangerous. Pop flash through the smoke. They start to take the fight. Lucky. Awkward time. Bad angle. It leaves Exercise. A quick second spray. Blame F up against Exercise. He's up close and personal, and the headshot will connect. The force buy pays off for fnatic. We spoke about how critical their economy was getting. This gives them the briefest of reprieves. Still not great, though. Winning rounds going down to the last man never looks good on a CT side's spreadsheet, their balance book, if you will. So as they try and make the numbers add up, there'll be sacrifices, there will be awkward moments. MP9s to support rifles, but it's still a good buy for 3D Max. They've still got an opportunity here. 1400 is the loss bonus if they break fnatic here. That's a 7-round half on a guarantee. Initial nades exchange towards Banana. 3D Max leaning a lot of presence there in the opening seconds, but very quickly changing their mind and instead deciding that Black Bracket should be explored. Lots of presence here for the CT side though. Afro on the angle, misses the shot. Maka punishes. Jocko finds one more. It's all on Crims. Blame F there with him. The spray down just not quite connecting. And well, fnatic decision-making time, lads. Body and Mattis. A 2v3 after plant. Gravity and Exercise both tagged up. Both should be relatively known as well. Blame knows he had that spray down for a long old time. But without an opening pick and looking at the financials of the situation, can they justify it? No. The accountant's given them a ring. Said, what are you doing? Get out of there. We need these guns in the next round. Thank you very much. So they back away. 3D Max will have their 6th round. And we can go look at the numbers a little bit more because there's nothing else that's going to happen this round. Interestingly, fnatic tend to be T-side leaning. 3D Max more of a 50-50, which feels like how it's going at the minute. 3D Max definitely on top of fnatic. A couple of really nice clutches in there. The individual starting to get fired up and warm. Gravity 13 and 6. A dangerous beast on T-sides. fnatic realising that fact. Take the timeout. At this point, 2 rounds left in the half. This one, ugly. Expect to see perhaps something a little bit different. Could envisage a fast-paced banana take. They've been successful for Fnatic, or even maybe a take into the apartments. We've not seen that from them yet. Opportunity to maybe just roll the dice a little bit. Blame F in at the front. Prim's there with him. Try and get some of the lesser weapons, getting some kills early, trading down. See if maybe there's some upgrades to be had, but we'll have to wait and see what they want to do with them. As we get into the round. Definitely feels like Gravity's got the team on his back at the moment. How much longer that continues, we will have to wait and see. And it does look like we're going to get a slightly different look to Fnatic here. 4-man stack towards the B-bomb site. In these opening seconds, they're looking for the clear. Jocko goes wide. Mattis is there. And the opening kill goes the way of Fnatic. Now, how long do they hang around here? Lucky is spamming, trying to keep them interested in Banana. They're dropping a lot of util to do so. And it does leave Body alone on short, and he can't quite find the kill. Gravity's Mach 10 flying through the air will get it. And it's time to ask that age-old question again at Fnatic. Can you really afford to go for this? 3 players queued up towards brackets. Mattis just spamming away out of long. Perhaps just trying to draw across here and send Crims in. I like the idea. If the 5-7 can get an entry, fantastic. That's a potential inroad into this round. If he can't, let's save those rifles. Try and have something to fight with in the last round of this first half. And it does look like that's the call to be made. Mattis hanging around a little too long for my liking. Just perhaps keen to see if there's an exit to be had. Gravity's going to go hunting though, and yep. That Mach 10 grabs his second of the round, his 15th of the game so far, and these rifles are being stripped away. Flame F doing what he does best. We'll be able to at least recover an AK-47. 3D Max really don't mind about losing those rifles, though. They've got plenty of cash in the bank. And that's the problem now. 7-4, the full reinvestment will come through. And for Fnatic, what does this investment even look like realistically? 2 AK saves, 2 MP9s. Afro digging about at the bottom of the lost and found to see if maybe there's a gun in there for him. And he has managed to scramble together a deagle. What can they get done with it? 3 towards B in the opening seconds. More muted approach towards Banana this time, it's safe to say. Afro looking to enable some flashes. Lucky does get one. Mattis is there to trade though, and that MP9 up close and personal. Doing what it does best, forcing Jocko out of the Banana control. Mattis, once more the man to have impact. Afro though napping on the angle. Punished for it. And despite the excellent work towards Banana, it looks like this A site is going to fall once again. And this time Fnatic haven't got a choice. They can't call it off. They can't save for the next. This one has to stick. Site cleared. The plant will go through. Maka works his way into the pit. An intimidating angle for an AWP to be gifted. And there's why. First shot connects onto Crims. There's no mollies to clear him out. It's going to have to be a swing. Someone's got to be brave here, and it's Mattis. Charging in, matching Gravity, shot for shot. 15 kill for each of them. Jocko gets him though, finally puts him to the grave. And for Blame F, he's going to try and stitch this 1v2 together. Gets the first, knows there's another man inside this site somewhere. But how much time has he got? How many angles can he clear? Not enough. 3D Max with a dominant lead at the half. Time to see what fnatic's T side is made of here on Inferno. 8-4 down. It's not an insurmountable mountain, but it's a tough one nonetheless, and it has to start with this pistol, you imagine. T side, it's such a fickle beast on a map like Inferno. It can be the easiest thing in the world and the toughest simultaneously. Jocko, though, looking for early information, has gifted an opening to fnatic. Body taking it with open arms. Half a step for Maka to hear there about a couple of players wandering towards the brackets, but he's still so isolated over towards A. Solo player in the boiler. And with that opening pick, fnatic can just completely fall off of this. They've got no reason to get aggressive yet. Play the timings, knowing that someone like Maka, who's playing solo, has got to get into the angle. He's got to try and find some information, get something done. Nice shot from Exercise at the very least to level things back, but it is Maka who's going to be put under pressure. He's got it all to do. Could do with this kill on Afro. Catches him with nades out. That's a lovely shot. Now he has to stay alive and he can't. Swings into the short peak. Body is there for the punishment. It's a 3-on-3 afterplant. No defuse kit. So we got 30 seconds to see if 3D Max can crack this one open. It's a nice set of afterplants as well for this T side. 2 inside of the site. 1 in the apartment. Smoke goes out for Lucky to try and give him an angle. He swings in with the duel, gets 1, but Mattis and Body combine beautifully, and there is Mattis once more, swinging out of the apartments for a double, swinging fnatic into their 5th round, and an opportunity to drag this one right back. A story of the Young Guns this third map. Third map. Been a long day. Counting's not my strong suit. Mattis on 17, Gravity on 15. The rifles are out and it's the force buy from 3D Max. This has been their tendency. fnatic, more cautious, reserved in their approach, have gone towards the full eco, bought the third. 3D Max deciding that you just can't get enough util in a third round buy on a map like Inferno. So why not chance your arm here? Why not see if maybe, just maybe, those MP9s can be the heroes? Maka sneaking up, trying to catch a timing, but the trades are ugly. Body's AK spray connects nicely onto 2. Afro finds 1 more, and I mean, that's round over. A bit of a brawl towards the top of Banana, some old school at Inferno and on show. And we can just take a moment. fnatic going to have their 6th round here. Game of timings. It's an ugly shot from Krim, so Exercise, well, he'll grab himself an upgrade, look to save this one across. Can't imagine that fnatic are going to let him do so. Afro on an MP9, already charging his way into towards T-spawn to try and see if he's over there. 6th round on the board for fnatic. Full eco for 3D Max to follow, and suddenly what was such a promising first half has been negated. Virtually nothing in it when the rifles start to come out for 3D Max again. The dual-edged sword of MR12. Sixth on the board. As you look down the money, yeah, Exercise will have the rifle. Can't imagine there'll be all that much else going for them. 2,900 loss bonus, and as we said, Inferno's such a critical utility map. Can't really be going into those buys with just a rifle and a couple of nades. You need the full bank. So we'll see a little bit of investment. Limited pickups of 5.7s, P250s, a couple of nades here and there, but realistically, Exercise is the man to watch. Number 2 on the minimap as he heads towards the B-bomb site early. See if maybe Top Banana will give him the pick he needs. Deep smoke goes through, but going to be disrespected by Blame F. That AK flying through. Counter molly is good, and finally he will be forced to retreat. And there we go. Banana take comes in. Nice counter nade, though. As soon as Banana is conceded, some pressure applied towards the brackets. Good damage found, and 3D Max are going to double the bluff. They get the Banana control, then they cycle the Galil, or do they? Something's made them think this might be back towards B, and they've called it off. In fact, they've called it off almost entirely. 4 players headed back towards that B bomb site, which is not the call that looks correct at the moment. The bomb is still bottom mid, so this can still go either way. But with 2 players probing towards long and 1 in the apartments as well, it feels fully set for an A take, and indeed, The bomb picked up on the back of body will start to make its way through. This apartment's kill could be everything, and indeed Gravity does get it. AK recovered though, and I think at this point, yeah. I'm going to bite my tongue on the concept of Inferno here. Gravity gets a lovely little kill in the apartments and immediately hits the accelerator to try and hide as deep into T-spawn as he can. Would have imagined this would be a buy in the next round, so I wouldn't mind seeing perhaps a few of these pistols chance their arm. They've got no Kevlar behind them, but instead they're going to act as early warning signs, as bodyguards for the rifles themselves on Gravity and Exercise, which sit nestled deep in the warmth of T-spawn. So fnatic will exit out with 4. 3D Max will save with 5. Inferno, everyone. Really not much more to say than that. This is where, however, it could start to get a little bit interesting. The rifle buy is put together. Up in the hands of Maka. First time on this CT side. He's been able to afford the big green. Of course, fnatic not opting to take it. 4 rifles saved. They'll upgrade the 5th and go again. Wants to take it over towards this B bomb site as well. Posted on the half wall for now. Banana take util exchanged. Good damage done onto Blame F. He goes down to 17. Is going to be this exchange towards Banana. Good flashes over the top, but that chip damage continues to come through for the CT side. Afro, low, dealt with by his teammates, Molly. In fact, his body goes down to Afro's Molly. We'll get it right in the end, but the point is inevitable. Someone went down to a nade they shouldn't have done and forces fnatic to reconsider their options. Well-timed rotate from Maka puts him onto long. And a 3-man stack of this A site starts to come through. They're well set to receive what looks to be the A site hit from fnatic. Gravity and Exercise split between the site itself. Maka locking down the rotations out from long. It's a bit of a timing on it though, and he does start to change his mind. Just starts to retreat into the relative safety of the back of the archway. And that does leave Gravity and Exercise on a little bit of an island inside the site itself. Missed shot. Maka knows he should have hit that one. Mattis gets away with a second lease on life. Could that be punished now? Exercise actually gives his position away a little bit. Molotov comes in. He's stuck, flashed, blinded. Nothing he can do. Gravity, nothing he can find either. And that missed shot from Maka is the catalyst for a collapse on the A site. You could see Exercise was nervous. The potential of long was there. He had to cover it, had to pre-fire. Leaves him vulnerable. Util comes in, clears the man out. Gravity, I mean, at that point, it's an impossible situation. It's a 1v4 swing. And what was a promising start, what was low HP bars. I mean, look at Afro and Blame. They've not taken an ounce of damage since they first got spotted on Banana. It all falls by the wayside. We level things out 8 apiece. 3D Max, of course, have to save. The accountant's been on the phone to them as well. 8-all. Anyone's game here. We spoke about how fnatic do tend to lean T side. I think we're starting to see it now. Got some nice ideas, some good individuals. Albeit a little bit of fortune in that round. Mattis and Gravity matching each other for ADR now as well, if you just wanted to say there was absolutely nothing between the two of them. Killer difference, but both on 117 ADR. Not a bad place to be 16 rounds into Inferno. See if they can continue it. Fast pace here. fnatic with Banana, they want to fight for it, and Jocko is caught nade in hand. Lovely opening, make it a double. Afro gets Maka. And now this is going from bad to worse as Body rips the skull clean out of Lucky. An out-of-body experience. Leaving Gravity and Exercise. I mean, yes, there's a couple of tags, but it's just not enough from the CT side, and you can see it. Gravity wants nothing more to do with this. He's been told he's got to back away. He's got to save. Maybe see if there's a couple of exits. Maybe fnatic will make a misstep and stumble their way into this B-bomb site. But realistically, there's util, there's time. There's a 9th round on the board here. fnatic playing smart, doing their due diligence, clearing their angles, flashbangs over the top. Good protocols. But realistically, it means now it's going to be the B-bomb site. It's going to be round number 9, and it's going to be exercising gravity, just trying to hold on to what they've got. Couple of players potentially going to commit to the hunt here. There's a good amount of money left on a couple of them, so fnatic can afford a few rifles going by the wayside if they can maybe take away any remaining firepower from this CT side. Exercise in a little bit of trouble. Legs up his first shot, but the HE will bail him out. Can't see Mattis through the dust cloud of his own explosion, so he goes down. Gravity thinking about going for that AWP. He wants to recover. He knows Mattis is here somewhere, and Mattis is just on another level right now. Rips the head out of the other lad. 9 on the board. No rifle saved. Big decisions to be made here for 3D Max. They got good loss bonus. The buy will still come through, but there's going to be sacrifices, and that means there's going to have to be some proactivity. Tactical timeout, well timed. Knowing there has to be some kind of recognition of a difference. Talk to the coach. What's the idea, Chief? How do we break down this offense? Where do we need to change up? We've not seen either of these teams really go for the apartments aggression. Not seen either of them really go for mid aggression either, other than 3D Max on the pistol. So potentially an avenue of opportunity there. Feels tough to pick out individuals on a map like Inferno, but definitely feels like Lucky needs to step up a little bit as well. Just looking at the numbers across the board, that seems to be the discrepancy at the moment, and they need 3D Max, just a couple of players to start hitting some shots. Get up on a similar level to Mattis and really start to fly, and we got a game on our hands. 3-man setup towards A this time. Blame F. For now, solo towards the bottom of Banana. Playing ahead of the smokes. Looking for a bit of a timing. Bails out. Afro spamming away on the AWP. The usual shenanigans in Banana. Molotov goes in. Maka this time, though, does get the better of 1, 2, 3. They walk into him in the apartments. Just playing duck hunt. 3 1v1s given, 3 1v1s taken. I mean, we spoke about firepower being a little missing, but Maka's not going to miss those shots. Pedestrian stuff. Not sure where fnatic came up with that idea from, but definitely not the right one. 3D Max given a golden opportunity to level things up here. Practically hand-wrapped by the T side. And for the next 50 seconds, we get to watch Blame F save a rifle. Inferno. This is the point where normally you just sort of start talking about the weather with your co-caster, and you'll be very glad to hear that we do have a super sub coming in for the second best of 3 here on the C stream. We are going to have Affinity joining us. Give me a bit of a break. Someone to talk to when we're waiting 50 seconds for Blame F to save an AK, which will be nice. Nice to have some company in the server with me. No details yet as to which game we'll be covering, though, so we'll get that information to you as soon as we have it. Of course, we've got to get all the games done before we get there. And we'll have a quick recap of the other games that are going on, shall we? Just to get an idea of where we're at. Cloud9 with a clean 2-0, Inferno Fire with a clean 2-0, and Falcons with a 2-1. So this is the last game live at the moment. Falcons will be playing the winner of this matchup. And OG will be playing the loser. Got to imagine that's where we will be watching OG play the loser of this 3D Max fnatic game. We'll get that confirmed as soon as I can. Full AK's out for fnatic, 3D Max. After the reprieve of the previous round, they've got the AWP in the hands of Maka again. They've got the utility on hand. Looking to get something going towards the top of Banana, but what is that? A strike from the heavens. Body and Afro Blame F's the third HE there. It's a team effort. And it's just a little bit of magic out back pocket of fnatic. They could not have timed that better. Round over. And Blame F's going to put salt in the wounds here. He spent 50 seconds saving this AK. It's not Blame F, it's Mattis. The numbers being skewed is skewing my brain. But 2 players left to save in Exercise and Maka. They'll be desperate to hold on to these rifles as well. I mean, that's just a 1 in a million. One of those uncountable rounds. This shot from Maka. Trying to save this AWP. Utility gets dumped to try and enable it. The leg will be converted on by Exercise. I mean, he's got support here, but there is so many bodies. They will strip the rifles away. And fnatic, well, when you get one of those nonsense rounds where everything goes your way, why not try and turn the screws on it? $10-9. Economy in the gutter for 3D Max. Can they stitch something together? Their third and final tactical timeout to try and work it out. Maka's got the money for the AWP if he wants it. Mattis is just on another level right now. 21-9. Sometimes an individual just takes hold of a game and says he's winning it, regardless of what's going on elsewhere, and it definitely feels like Mattis is having one of those moments. Such a promising individual for this fnatic lineup. 91 out of 100 on the new HLTV firepower metrics. That's a very nice place to be. Can 3D Max put a stop to him? Can they get something out of someone to match that kind of firepower? Mattis has made his way in here. He's not seen the man in apartments. Oh, how bad could this be? He had free kill there. Nobody was looking his way, and instead it's Exercise with a double kill out of Boiler. Bomb down in no man's land, and those small mistakes are really starting to get worse. Well traded down at the very least. 3D Max get away with one there. Mattis had 3 kills. You could see the head, but got to imagine he's on 4x3 because he just didn't quite notice it and enabled Exercise to swing on out. A brawl in towards short is the only fair way to describe it. And in amongst the carnage, 3D Max have come out the better. Body on the angle, nothing for him to do. 10-all, we are going all the way to the wire. Nobody is willing to give an inch here. 2 incredibly evenly matched teams. We knew this before we came in. 2 perhaps skewed maps, but this one is giving everything. Inferno always feels better as the decider map. That rings true once again. Exercise on an off angle in the apartments, but he's not really going to be tested at the moment. 4 players for fnatic wanting that banana control. Initial util wards them off it somewhat. They reset, but they're still pressing the issue. They're still pushing it. Afro working his way up, and there's only 2 players here to receive for 3D Max, so they have to back away. Map control conceded. As Crims has a bit of a prod and a poke around the apartments. There's some big decisions to be made for the rotations here. CT side really has no information to go off of. They've been completely shut out of banana. They've opted to play an app setup, so there's no real opportunity for aggression in towards mid. They're just hoping that Crims gets too keen and gives them a shot, but he's not going to. Instead, it is going to be the straight up commitment. 50 seconds on the clock. They'll queue up towards top of Banana. They'll look to hit the B-bomb site. There's the stalling smoke from the CT side. There's only one more of those, and it's not on this bomb site. So as soon as that fades, it is all hands to the pumps. Can you hold off this hit? Here comes the util from the T side. Smoke to CT. Nade to blow the CT smoke, and out they charge. Can the spray connect? No. Jocko can't get anything. Gravity, one and done, and that is not going to be enough. Lucky spraying through the smoke desperately, but nothing is connecting for him. BlameF is on the angle. The job is done. Afro has dealt with the fast flank, and Maka cuts a lonely figure here. One kill out of the AWP early. Mattis, of course, he wants more blood. Why wouldn't he? He's been on fire. He buys time for his team. They start to work their way towards top of mid. They start to pin this AWP in. They spot him out. They know where he is. Will the bomb gift them enough time to hunt down this AWP and compound the misery of this 3D Max lineup? Maka gets one more. That should be enough to keep him alive. But it's 11 on the board for fnatic regardless. 2 rounds away from that upper bracket berth that seemed oh so improbable when they lost their map pick. Felt like an impossibility. Still, they fight. 3D Max, a scrappy buy. Got to try something, anything to make this happen. Maka's going to cycle the AWP towards B. See if maybe there's a pick be given up there. Nice util, nice protocols at the least from 3D Max, but BlameF able to nestle in the relative safety of a smoke. HGs do some good work, and now Maka goes hunting. Knows he needs something here, but the shot's just not connecting. The nades instead will do the work. Lucky's HE capitalizing on that opening damage to BlameF. An advantage found. Something to work with here for the CT side. They needed that. Didn't have the util to hold on to Banana forever, but the time they could afford has netted them an opening. fnatic still lurking too towards that top Banana position. Still wanting to try and press the issue. Bleed the smokes out. They get it out of Jocko. Has to call the rotation in. Has to call Lucky. The boost over the top of the smoke is timed, but it's ugly, and Jocko gets a freebie. Body spotted on the jump up. Gravity deals with Mattis out towards long, and this one feels like an inevitability now for 3D Max. They went for the buy. They forced the issue, and they are forcing this round their way. Gravity, it's an ugly spray, but it gets the job done regardless. Afro, 30 seconds on the clock. His team have got a decent amount of money behind them, so he can afford to have a bit of a look in, but as he's dinked up by Exercise down to 11 HP, now it's time to run. 3D Max know it. Look at Jocko. He's already into T-spawn. He's just waiting. Afro will set himself up on the off angle. Hope that his former teammate doesn't look to clear this one, and indeed the shadow angle will help him out. 4 seconds on that clock. It is ticking down to nothing. If he dies after time, he is in so much trouble here, and he knows it. The CT side know it. They start to swarm, and they get him. Luckily, he had some finances. But the third and final tactical timeout comes in from fnatic. They are running this to the wire. To the very extremes. All the other games are finished. Everyone else waits for this battle, monumental arm wrestle to end on Inferno. $11-all, we are as close as we could possibly be. There is nothing in it. And fnatic's buy is haphazard. Galil's. A Mac 10 for BlameF and a couple of upgraded pistols. It is not what they would have wanted. But there's sacrifices for 3D Max too. Exercise. He's gone for the crocodile jaws. He'll take them towards the apartments. You couldn't see them going anywhere else. But look at this from 3D Max. They know now is the time. Force the issue. Turn the screws. Molotov goes in. It's a bit, just a split second too late. Mattis goes 1 for 1, but Maka is there. Bails him out, and look at the fast flank here. The timing on this is everything. BlameF has heard it, but Maka has got another kill in the meanwhile, and that means he's a little isolated towards these brackets. Mac-10 in his arms. He sits on the staircase, desperate for someone to give him a peek. There it is. Spots out the second, but he's dinked and dealt with by Jocko. And Afro, he's been here before. Khalil in hand. 1v3 exercises. XM first up, and it won't miss. 3D Max with the opportunity now. 12-11. One chance at glory before it's overtime. Before we do this all again. But look at the buy. 3D Max, they have struggled with their finances. They've been up and down, but right when they need it most, all of their investments pay off. fnatic go bankrupt. BlameF, the only person who's able to afford something that isn't a pistol, and even then, it's just a Mac-10. It's got to be fast here. It's got to be furious, and it's got to be B. There's no other choice. They've not got the util, they've not got the time, and now they've not got the manpower. Jocko's M4 rings out. Mattis doing what he can, but the mollies are licking at the feet of his teammates. Mattis is nade, gets a second, and somehow, some way, the kid is keeping them in this. All the names on this fnatic lineup, and it's Mattis who's doing the work. Maka being a bit cheeky with it, gets one. No scope through the smoke, won't connect, has to back away. And Afro and Crims have got rifles now. Maka is spamming for all he's worth. He wants to keep the crosshairs busy. He wants to keep the damage coming, and he has tagged up Afro. Crims on the angle towards top. Banana gets one, and the trade isn't forthcoming. He's trying to bait the shot out of the AWP, but the HE does more work. Those tags won't matter to an AWP. It's Crims on the off angle. He goes down. All on Afro. All or nothing, and it's nothing at all. fnatic will drop to the lower bracket of the IEM Rio close qualifiers, and it will be 3D Max who keep on going. It is a mammoth series from the Frenchman. You got to say, I mean, you would have thought their heads would have dropped. They lost their map pick of Anubis. That should have been the clean 2-0. The last two times these teams met, it was the clean 2-0. It was 3D Max. They had to go to the decider. They